Talk Shoes. Recorded live.
Welcome to the Lost Lowdown, podcast number 49, with your hosts, Claude and Justin.
What's up, guys?
Today we're talking about episode 412, There's No Place Like Home, Part 1. But before we get into that, we want to remind our listeners that we have our little listener poll going on our website that you can get to from thelostlowdown.com or thelostlowdown.blogspot.com, and that's wrong. I don't think it's D in that one, is it?
It is the.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, the email is just Lost
The
Lowdown.
email, yeah.
Ah, okay. You'll be safe if you just go to thelostlowdown.com, I think.
Yeah. The easiest.
Do us a favor and head over there and check out the poll, answer the question so we can get a sense of what's going on. It's much appreciated.
Yes. And if you feel so inclined, leave a comment or something.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, you can visit tllld.net for the forum, which is really, the happening place to be on the Internet, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the real fun happens, folks.
It is. It's certainly not here.
Certainly not. So, There's No Place Like Home, Part 1.
Oh, yeah. That's the one.
What do you think?
Well, I enjoyed it. It was good. Very set-up-y, as I thought it might be.
Technical word.
It had something in common, I think, with the three-part season 1 finale, and that one was kind of about it was a group flashback about how they got on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is sort of the tail end of that, I guess. A
Yeah.
group flashback about them getting off the island. So it had that. It was a flashback with a, I don't know. This part of it, at least, with a lighter tone. It was sort of about the initial part of being home. So it seems like we're converging. I mean, I think we saw the furthest back that we have yet. So that was nice.
Mm-hmm.
And filled in some details that we didn't really know about, and some of the stuff going on the island is, surprised me. It was just a very good episode. There's a lot going on. I love finales. They're just, the rules are out the window. Like, everybody can be involved in something. All kinds of stuff can be going on at once.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, so one character focused like the show normally is, and it just, I don't know. It's a fun time, I think. So yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. I don't know how I'd rate this yet, but it's very good.
Well, I also enjoyed it. It was very satisfying. I think pretty much the entire show has led up to this moment. Their rescue was the first question we had when they, crashed on the island.
Mm-hmm.
Will they get rescued? How's that going to happen? And some of these scenes I just sort of never thought we'd ever see,
Yeah.
It just didn't seem like we were, we never knew when we were going to find that out. Will we find out they get rescued at the series finale? What point would we find out some of this stuff? So it was really cool in that sense that that it's, it's come full circle and that, this is the big rescue.
Yeah.
That we've all been waiting for. And so it's really fun and really interesting. And the characters have been through a lot over the past, 4 seasons. And, the viewers have been through it just as much. Probably more, actually.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was going to say, because of the weird time thing with the show. Although for them it's been a few months, to me it feels like it's been years, waiting for Saeed to meet Nadia or various other things that are set up very early.
Yeah.
You know, them getting rescued in general, and going back, what that would be like, and all that. So that's that's a weird thing. I mean, for them, I feel like it's somehow less. It feels less epic to them than it does to me. You know, this rescue, because it isn't years.
Yeah. But on the other hand, it's probably more important to them because they're living it.
Yeah, I'll give them that.
It's life or death for them, not really for us.
I do get to sit comfortably while they trace it out and get attacked.
Fast forward and rewind and
Yeah. I was thinking about that at the end when Kimi hits Ben with the gun. Like, scenes like that, they're always kind of relatively inconsequential, but like it would really hurt, I think, to get hit in the head with the butt of a gun. Like, I really wouldn't want that to happen to me. Yeah,
to get hit in the head enough to pass out, be knocked unconscious would probably really hurt.
Yeah. And it's really, I mean, it becomes like, well, they're not dead, so they'll make it, and you will make it, but it's just like, I don't know, living it would be worse.
Yeah, I mean, with that ending, I was actually surprised that they didn't just have Kimi put the gun to his head and cock the gun and then make us wait to see whether or not he shoots Ben on the spot.
Yeah, it was weird. They kind of pulled the rug out from under their own cliffhanger.
Yeah, it was like, ooh, Kimi's he's just gonna knock him out.
I didn't think he was gonna kill him because I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to do that.
We know, that's the thing. I feel like we know he can't kill him, and especially with the finale not being over, regardless of the flash forward stuff we know. So that's probably why they didn't go for that. Because it wouldn't have. Everyone would be like, well, Ben's not gonna die.
He's alive in the future. He's you can't kill him.
Yeah.
Even if you wanted to, which I don't think he does. I mean, well, maybe he wants to, but he's not going to. I don't think that's his mission.
Yeah, so. It's got to be more than just about killing Ben, or else Widmore would have killed Ben when they met.
Yeah.
So that's kind of strange, and that's the other thing too is we know from the flash forwards that this won't solve it. Even if they move the island, whatever happens right now, this isn't the end of it. For either of them. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, it seems like a temporary solution that they both it comes to blows, so whatever happens, and then both sides have to regroup. And it's definitely not over. And it's weird to know that. I mean, a lot of times, you would know that just by knowing that there are 2 more seasons, but knowing how far, knowing exactly what a lot of the outcome is, it's strange. You don't get to do that normally.
Well, are you ready to dive into the episode?
Yeah.
If you want to talk, the title obviously comes from
The Wizard of Oz. Yeah.
So that's that bit of information.
And the 6 are going home, and So, the metaphor is that the island is Oz and the real world is home.
Yep.
So,
and just like Oz, the island is green.
That's right.
Look at that.
Oz was green. Many forget that.
Many forget that. Don't forget that Oz was green.
They like doing that. I think Something Nice Back Home, and then There's No Place Like Home, like so close together, is kind of odd, but whatever.
Wouldn't you like to think of Something Nice Back Home because there's no place like it?
Yeah.
Because I have cabin fever.
Oh no. You
should meet Kevin Johnson, the other woman.
Ooh.
Or meet Kevin Johnson and Ji Yeon, the other woman.
There we go.
Because the constant is the shape of things to come in this egg town. Because The Economist is confirmed dead.
Ooh,
and it's
that'll
the beginning of the end.
There you go. I think you got them all. Very nice.
Yeah.
Tell a story with the titles.
Exactly.
Let's maybe there's a secret code in there.
I think so. I think if you put the titles in the right order, I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't either. Something will happen, surely.
Something crazy will happen.
Mhm.
Speaking of crazy, there's a couple of strange little things in this episode that we'll have to get to, like sort of, kind of the thing, basically I'm talking about the, which we talked about before off podcast, the 305-325 discrepancy.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's back now with the vengeance.
It is. Although I noticed he managed to not say what it was. Specifically. I followed his bearing. Let's not say what it is, because then I'll have to either contradict or say something different.
Yeah. Yeah, very strange little things like that. But you've got the first half, so
I do.
Let's go into it.
Okay, here we go. Get ready. Buckle up. The first scene, we don't know where we are. We're in a cockpit of a cargo plane. The co-pilot is holding a rabbit foot and rubbing it because the cargo What?
Mm-hmm. I was going to say a white rabbit's foot.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because the cargo they have is bad mojo. The pilot suggests to a woman, Miss Decker, that she tell them that we're landing. So Miss Decker agrees, heads to the main middle portion of the plane. She and here we realize that the back end of the plane contains the Oceanic 6, and we realize that this is a flash forward. She tells the Oceanic 6 that they're landing in a military facility west of Honolulu, and their families will be there. The press will want to talk to them, but as far as Oceanic is concerned, they don't have to speak to reporters. Jack agrees to talk to them and speaks for everyone else, who remains silent. Decker exits. Jack tells the other 5 that we all know the story, and if there are questions we don't want to or can't answer, then we just keep our mouth shut. They'll think that we're in shock. Sun says, we are in shock. Jack says, then this should be easy. The plane lands, and we intercut them kind of just sitting there in silence. Jack looks at Kate holding Aaron, and so eventually they come to stop. The back of the plane opens, and people are there waiting for the 6. So they all get up and exit the plane through the back. Hurley greets his family. Sun greets her dad and mother. Jack greets his mom. Kate/Aaron and Saeed don't have any people waiting for them. Hurley introduces Saeed to his family, who embrace him happily, and Kate/Aaron is still standing there alone. And that's the end of the first bit there.
All right. Well, that scene is a big one.
It is, yeah.
Not the way I would have guessed. This scene would have really sort of. I mean, obviously the end is sort of obvious, but but just their situation, I wouldn't have guessed. And as we'll get into later, the whole story that they're telling of how they were rescued was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But,
it is. And so the question, I think I have about this scene is, how do they get from where they are to on this cargo plane?
Mm-hmm. Well, we find that out later, right? Or do you mean from...
We find out what they say happened, but, I mean, we know...
Oh, you mean, like, for real? Like, how do they...
Yeah.
I would imagine that some parts of that story they tell is true. Most likely the later parts, when they get to the island, the very last island they get to when they actually get rescued.
Okay.
I think I don't know what's going to happen, but I would imagine that somehow either between the helicopter or the freighter, they're going to get to some little small island like that.
So the idea is they just wash up. This is a story they tell, and Oceanic has no idea that their story's not true. Is that?
I think at a certain point, Oceanic should know. That's the thing. I don't know where Oceanic. I mean, it seems like Oceanic believes their story, but at a certain point, it would seem like that they would know something doesn't really add up. But if they make it to, I forgot what the island was called, something with an M, some really long name.
Yeah.
But the island that they make it to before the Coast Guard gets them, if they just show up there, then I think Oceanic would believe their other story.
Mm-hmm.
But what I didn't get, this is really more about the other scene, but what I didn't get was when she points out, where they landed and which island they went to, and the Oceanic Six don't know that. That's the kind of information I think the investigators would have to discern.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess they would just make that up based on what they told them.
Mm-hmm. And where they showed up.
And where they showed up. And I would also have to guess that that they got some information from maybe Ben or something, because if they don't actually, if they didn't actually land on that first island that they claim they kind of swam to, or sort of drifted to, then, where would they even guess to say that that's the island that they went to? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Someone must have told them, hey, there's an island here you can say you drifted to. That makes sense with where the plane probably went down and all that. And that's the other thing, too, is if, they're obviously... Oh, that's the other thing. I don't know how they're reconciling the wreckage.
Yeah.
Since all the bodies were accounted for, I don't know how they're, what they would be saying with that. But I would imagine that their story would have to be in line with where the wreckage was found.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, otherwise there would be a lot of questions about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Well, it was nice to see Michelle Forbes playing Miss Decker.
Oh, yeah.
She's a staple, lovely Ensign Rowe on Star Trek Next Generation.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot her name. She played
Admiral Kane.
Admiral Kane, yeah.
And Galactica.
That's Galactica. So she's in 3 of our favorite shows.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
It is, yeah. It was
and
weird to see her.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine her character is going to come into play a bit more. I don't see them casting her for just these couple scenes where she's just anyone could have played that part.
Yeah, it's a functional part.
Yeah. So I feel like something's going on. Maybe she really knows what's going on. Who knows? Maybe Widmore bought out Oceanic Airlines. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
To help with the cover-up or something.
Yeah. I thought that in that Confirmed Dead flashback when Frank sees the thing on the TV about the pilot, I guess, and they have that number, and he calls it.
Mm-hmm.
And something, whoever he was talking to was I got the sense Oceanic was in on it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that may not be true. Maybe they just wanted me to think that, but I had that sense at the time. And I just the main thing is for me I just don't from what's happening right now, I don't understand how those 6 people, end up washing up on some other island, without everybody else.
You mean the real story? how are they gonna get to that island without everyone else?
Yeah.
Well, I think you mean just I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, to me, it comes down to part of it is transportation. How are they really going to get there? There's C4 all over the boat. The freighter. I don't know if they would take that, and you would think if they did, there'd be more people that would go with them.
Yeah.
It could be that that all that's left, or all they could take is the little raft, the little Zodiac raft, or whatever it's called.
Zodiac raft.
And that fits 6, so or 7, including Aaron, I guess.
Yeah.
But I would maybe they use that to get to where they're gonna go.
No, it's 6, including Aaron.
What's 6, including Aaron?
You mean how many people?
I just mean how many people can fit in the boat.
Okay. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Aaron doesn't take up a place.
No.
Which makes me wonder why there aren't 7 people.
Yeah, right.
Seems like there could be.
There could be, yeah.
Because the baby doesn't need to, can just sit on somebody's lap. It's a baby.
Mm-hmm. It is a baby.
And I wonder about all these extra people, like, these background characters. Like, are they just gonna kill them? Like what's gonna happen to them? It just seems odd that they're just not getting rescued.
Yeah. Maybe they end up dying.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I was thinking. Something's gonna happen. I don't know. Maybe it's too much speculation too early. Maybe we should.
Yeah, I think it is.
Get a little more information out there. Oh, another thing I was gonna say that was weird about this scene to me was having a bunch of, not just this scene but kind of the whole flash forward in this episode, having a bunch of these flashback characters kind of thrown together. Like it was really weird to me to see Saeed introduced to Hurley's parents. Like they just. They're in their own world in those flashbacks, and it never occurred to me that they would just meet each other. It just didn't seem possible to me, and that really.
I mean, this is a big episode.
Yeah.
And this is a very, seminal episode.
It really is. So should I go on? Do you have anything else?
Yeah, we can go on.
Okay. I mean, I also wonder why. Well, whatever. I'll talk about that later. Okay, so the next scene is back on the beach, the main camp. Rose thinks that it had to be.
She said Rose stinks.
No.
She said she stinks. I'm like, what? Back on the main camp, Rose stinks.
No. That would be a weird thing to say. No, Rose believes that it had to be Saeed and Desmond on the helicopter. Sun wonders why they didn't just land. Because of the satellite phone, Jack says they want us to know where they are going. Sun says, can't we just call? So Jack hands the phone over to Dan to make the call. Dan messes around, fiddles around with the phone, and then it kind of comes on in a. So we just overhear, I guess, what's going on in the helicopter. We hear the voice of Kimi, who mentions that most notably that they're going to the Orchid, and. Jack asks Juliet if she knows what the Orchid is. She says no, and notes that she didn't hear Saeed or Desmond. So Jack calls out to Kate, takes her aside, tells her, "I'll get the guns. You get some water." Juliet marches towards Jack, realizing that he's planning to take action. Expresses concern over his stitched-up incision from the surgery. Jack is dedicated to getting everyone off the island, so he's just going to go anyway. Juliet storms off saying, "Don't bleed to death, Jack." We go over to Dan, who pulls out one of his notebooks. Charlotte comes over where he is. Dan notes that they, oh God, what am I saying here? Dan notes that they, meaning Kimi, said they are going to the Orchid. So they are using the secondary protocol. Dan flips to a page in one of his notebooks that has some scribbled mathy stuff, and then it says the Orchid, and it has the logo. And then finally Dan says, "We have to get off this island right now." Lost.
All right, well.
So, yeah.
Next scene? No.
I'm trying to... One of the things that surprised me about this scene was that Dan knows about the secondary protocol.
That's definitely surprising.
Since, the way it was depicted, the idea was Kimi and the captain were supposed to both have these keys, or one of them had the key, and they were supposed to both go, I guess, open it up to see what it was. I mean, I got the sense they didn't know what it was until they looked it up. Otherwise, I wouldn't think they'd have to look it up. So why does Dan know what it is? I don't know. That's weird to me.
Yeah.
I always had the impression this season that he, and really the other people of his ilk are kind of in the dark about certain aspects of the mission, especially the ones that Kimi is attending to, and so I found that odd, and I don't really know what his problem is. If he's just worried about the dangerousness of moving the island or some kind of time thing, I'm not really sure what his worry is, but it makes you wonder about. If he knows about it, do they all know about it? I don't know. This is just weird to me.
Yeah, it's definitely strange. I don't think they all know about it, because I think it's clear Charlotte doesn't know, and I think that's surprising to me that Dan would know something that Charlotte doesn't. I sort of put them on the same level.
Yeah.
This whole time. I think his concern, my idea is that his concern is just that even if he knows what they're trying to do, which I don't really know if he knows everything, but he might just know that the secondary protocol is, part of that might mean killing everyone on the island.
Oh, okay.
It's
just that.
It could be just that, or it could be the fact that if they move the island, that could mean they could never get off, or that would be very, very difficult for them to ever get off. So that's the sense I got, is that he was just saying they need to get off before the whatever happens.
Mhm. His notebook seemed really useless.
Well, the mathy stuff that was on there, all the stuff at sort of the top seemed unrelated.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like he just drew the logo.
Yeah.
In a blank space.
And why would he need to go get a notebook out just to behold the logo?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. I drew this logo. I don't, I'm thinking maybe he found out about the secondary protocol in some other way, since it was in his, the Orchid was in his notes.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of written a while ago. Maybe he overheard Kimi talking about it, or he, some way he found out in some unofficial way, or I just don't see him being really high on the food chain.
That's the thing. I don't even think Kimi knew about it until he looked at the thing.
Well, I don't think he knew what the secondary protocol was necessarily. I think he knew there was a secondary protocol, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much Kimi knew about it. I think, maybe all he knew was the name the Orchid, and that it was a last measure type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. I don't really think that Dan or Kimi really knew everything about it, or else, why have the two keys? Why have the file? why go read the file if you know what it says?
Yeah.
So I don't think that was the case. I think Dan just probably knows it's really bad. I don't really know if he knows what it really entails.
Okay.
Now it could be that he was sort of briefed on the orchid. From what we know about it, it's got some science stuff to do with it. So it could be that he was, just like the Tempest, he was briefed about it. And he knew it was a secondary protocol. I mean, I don't think he necessarily knows about the its ability to move the island or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, that was interesting. I thought, what was the other thing that was weird? Forget now. But yeah, I'm surprised Charlotte and Dan aren't on the same level.
Yeah.
In that, Dan didn't mention something before,
Yeah. Yeah. And of course he says it now, but it's not like he's trying to conceal it, but yeah, I don't really it's not enough to really know what's going on in his mind here if it's just like, I heard I heard something about a secondary protocol, and it has something to do with the orchid that I know of something about, and it's going to be bad. Like if it's some vague thing like that, which is I guess what it seems like. But I'm just surprised about that. I mean, I just thought he was totally out of the loop.
Yeah.
And he just.
Well, they've acted out of the loop.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing with just them being on the island and not being able to communicate with the ship, if Dan knew about secondary protocol and all, if Dan really knew what was going on, you think he would have been more active or something. They've just been kind of hanging out, waiting to see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm still wondering, like, if he has any other goals in mind, maybe he's just abandoning them because there's imminent danger. But it still frustrates me that it seems like he, didn't do very much. Charlotte's probably worse in that way.
Yeah.
Because he did at least do one experiment, and was the primary person in the Tempest plot. She's not.
Well,
done
she was there.
anything.
She was there to kick, Juliet's butt, or at least try.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
She did that, but her skills don't seem to have been utilized whatsoever.
Yeah.
Miles has at least done it a couple times. It's been trivial, but it was there. Obviously Frank's flying all the time. But she's just hanging around. I don't know. She's just kind of a third wheel.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, we'll see what happens with her.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't have long, unless these characters are going over into next season, which I kind of don't think they are, but maybe they are. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if next season picks up with, the 6 really not on the island at all, and it could be that these are the people we watch on the island do stuff, and, that'd be interesting.
You think maybe they stay behind?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I think they're either going to die or stay behind. I guess they could get off, too, but I don't see where they would go. I don't see how they would get off. If more than the 6 don't get off, then how are Charlotte and Dan going to get off?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
So they could be stuck there, and then they do more science stuff.
Yeah. Maybe they would have done more if we had those extra however many hours.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Maybe they just didn't have time to show them do stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's always a problem with this season. Okay, so should I go on the next scene? You have anything else?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Let's see. In the next scene, picking up from the last scene, we have Jack and Kate following the signal through the jungle using the phone. They stop to rest. Jack is bleeding from his little stitched up incision. Jack claims that he isn't bleeding, that it's a discharge fighting the infection. Kate says that Jack's lying, and I guess he looks you in the eye when he lies, and he doesn't challenge this, so I assume he is lying. They hear someone coming. Ooh, who could it be? It turns out to be Miles, followed by Sawyer and Aaron. Kate asks where Claire is. Sawyer says she just walked away in the middle of the night. He was hoping she went back to the beach. She didn't. Jack is upset. Jack's upset. Sawyer asks Jack about the phone. Jack tells him they think it was Saeed. Sawyer tells him about the men who blew up New Otherton. Jack still wants to go, so Kate takes the baby. Jack walks off by himself, and after a bit, Sawyer follows Jack.
You don't get to die alone.
Yeah.
Gotta love that. Yeah, I like that. I like that line from Sawyer.
Yeah.
This is an interesting little scene. The first Aaron switcheroo, the Aaron relay race.
Yeah.
Claire leaves it for Sawyer. Sawyer gives it to Kate. So then we'll see where he ends up.
Yeah. I can't wait to find out.
Yeah.
He really is just a little ball or something. They're just passing to each other.
Yeah.
This is kind of exposition. They're sharing information, and that the others don't know, and putting together the groups that are going to be doing things. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, New Otherton is that's Damon and Carlton's name for the barracks.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
They've said they like that name like from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I think the beginning of season 3. That's what they like to call it. No one ever said that in the show until now, I don't think. But that's that. I give that to Sawyer to say, I guess. Okay.
I just want to know where Old Otherton is. Or should I just say Otherton?
Yeah. Maybe Old Otherton is the temple?
Maybe. I don't think they ever lived there, but maybe.
Yeah. Maybe we'll find out. Okay, anything else? I mean,
Nope.
there's really not much in this scene to talk about. Okay, here we go. This one's a party. The next scene is a flash forward. It is a press conference with the Oceanic Six. Decker tells the story that they're claiming of the plane crash using a map as a visual aid. The story goes they crashed in the ocean and washed up on an uninhabited island called Membata. The remnants of a fishing boat washed up on day 103 with supplies and a survival raft. On day 108, the remaining 6 survivors used the raft to get to Sumba, which was inhabited, and so shortly thereafter they were rescued. She shows a photo. She also mentions in the midst of this that Aaron is Kate's baby and that she gave birth to him on the first island, the one where they were on initially. And then she invites questions. A reporter asks how they survived. Jack tells him, including the 8 survivor story, where 2 of them die. Another reporter says they look pretty healthy for having survived so long. Hurley speaks up about that, suggesting maybe it was addressed to him. The same reporter asks Hurley about his money, and Hurley says he doesn't want it because it's bad luck. A reporter asks Sun a question in Korean. Sun translates the question, says the question was Sun's husband one of the people who survived and then died on the island? Sun says, no, he died in the crash. A reporter asks Kate what it was like to give birth on the island. Kate says, scary. The reporter brings up the implication that Kate would have been very pregnant when she was arrested by the marshal. Decker says that the arrest issue is off the table, shutting that down. A reporter asks Saeed if it's possible there are any other survivors yet to be discovered, and Saeed says no, absolutely not.
So everyone gets a question and an answer.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, except Aaron.
Yeah, well, he shouldn't.
I hope not. So it kind of leads into the next scene, but this is really a scene by itself, I think.
I don't think Aaron could keep the story straight.
Yeah.
He'd give it away.
Surely not. Yeah. Yeah, that kid, he's always talking.
We talked about a lot of these things when the whole Oceanic 16 came up, and and especially in Eggtown when with Kate being the mother, and that would have made her pregnant if they try to say that, and
and that was also when we heard the Jack tell the 8 survivor story.
Yeah, I still think it's strange. I mean, they get points for bringing up these questions, but they lose points for not really addressing them.
For not answering them, yeah.
I mean, the first one when the reporter asks, says that they look really healthy for having been on the island. True. I mean, everyone has said that, that they should have lost weight. Even, just with their diet change, even if they were eating enough, just with the diet change would have made them be, whatever. So,
if you watch Survivor, the people always lose weight.
Yeah, they always lose weight. I mean, if you're eating fish and fruit all the time, you're just,
Yeah.
Yeah, so, that was strange, they didn't, Hurley makes a retort and they don't have, and the reporter just changes the question. She, she doesn't even, she's a bad reporter because she doesn't even press her own question, like, she doesn't get an answer to that.
Yeah, she just moves on.
Yeah, so, what the next one was Sun, about Jen dying on the plane. I assume that's what she would say for the story, so that wasn't surprising. Kate giving birth on the island. Yeah, that wasn't much of a story. She just said scary. I mean,
scary.
That's the thing. I mean, that would have been, I don't know. It's a very, obviously unbelievable story. I mean, the situation's unbelievable anyway, but the story that they're telling it's just like, really, guys? Okay, like, luckily Jack is a doctor, so you can pull that her giving birth thing off a little bit. Yeah. With that, but
yeah. I was wondering, what they would do with Erin because the problem they raise here about her having to have been pretty, I mean, she would have to be exactly as pregnant as Claire was, which I think they're a little off on, because I think Claire was more pregnant than they say she would have had to be. Maybe they're just lying about Erin's age or something. But anyway, if Kate wasn't saying that Erin was her baby, if Claire were one of the two, and gave birth and then died, then the issue would be, how is Kate able to keep the baby?
Yeah, that's the thing. If she doesn't say it's her baby, then she doesn't have any claims to it once they get rescued.
Yeah, it really should be going to her family or something.
The grandmother would come in and take the baby and blah, 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 and that'd be the end of that. Which I don't know why that's,
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? I mean,
I don't
either.
Either.
They might not have known that Claire had family or even wanted to go down that route maybe.
Mhm.
But in hindsight, yeah, I mean, well, now that they know that there is a grandmother, that's kind of interesting that, if they'll ever tell her or not.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, the other thing I wonder about is why have the two people who died? Why not just have the story be they're the 6 survivors and forget about the 2?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's more to the story that we'll hear later on what happened to those 2, because they didn't really say, right? That they just died.
Yeah.
I think it makes it a little bit better that some of the people died along the way and not just, They
didn't just all make it.
They didn't just all make it, yeah.
Okay.
But, I don't know. Would a pregnant woman sink or float?
It depends on whether she's a good or bad witch.
Oh, okay. And whether or not the baby's a boy or a girl?
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. I'll buy that. So what was the other thing? And Saeed asking about if there's any survivors that could be discovered, and he says no.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they can't. Can they know that? I mean, I know they want to say that, but
Well, I think the idea is if when the plane crashed, the people who survived, for their story, the people who survived were the ones who basically had the life jackets and the flotation devices.
Mhm.
And I think the idea is if they didn't, I mean, they shouldn't be able to know that 100%. But I think the idea is if they didn't make it to the island and then they would have drowned.
Mm-hmm.
There was no other place to go, and if they didn't show up on the island in the 103 days they were there, then they would have drowned.
Yeah.
So I think he's safe to say that.
He's definitely safe to say that. I don't know. I was surprised with the conviction.
Mhm. Well, he can't be like, well, maybe.
Yeah.
Because then every family member of someone who died on the plane would want them to go look and search.
Mhm.
If there's even a shred of possibility. So he's got to say absolutely not, because if he doesn't, then they're going to go look.
Shut the whole thing down.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't go any further. Yeah. Okay. I do wonder what they're going to do. I mean, the Kate issue didn't even get brought up in her trial.
That was the thing I wanted to talk about is how come she's not under arrest? Why is she?
Mm-hmm.
Why are all her legal issues dropped? I mean, he even says it. The marshal apprehended you, for your murder warrant. And you would think, she shows up at Hurley's party later.
Oh, you're right.
And it's like, shouldn't she be taken into custody or something?
That's the thing. The way they depicted it in Eggtown, she got to be out while the trial was going on.
Mhm.
Maybe she just paid bail with her settlement money.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
But I'm surprised, I feel like in the trial, the thing about the pregnancy, I mean, it's not quite relevant to the case, but if she's supposed to have been pregnant and there's no record that she was, I don't know. It's kind of odd.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if the marshal didn't write it down or something when he captured her and nobody, I mean, I think there's probably video footage of her somewhere during that time period.
Yeah.
You could probably tell she wasn't pregnant.
In the airport.
6 months pregnant, at least in the airport.
There's video all over the place there.
Yeah, so I don't know if they thought about that.
Yeah, that's a bad story. That's a bad story. Because you could easily see she's not as pregnant as she would have needed to be.
Yeah.
If you look at Claire and how she looked,
Yeah.
that's, So, yeah, that's bad. That's bad. But what else can they do? I mean, they've either got to do that or have Claire be the thing and then figure out what to do with the baby. I guess they didn't want to do that.
Yeah, I mean, she would have to sort of file for adoption of Aaron or something.
Yeah.
I guess they didn't want to go through that.
Yeah. It's a weird issue.
Yeah, it is weird. That's what makes me think Claire's dead.
Yeah.
Because if otherwise, why not just leave Aaron with Claire?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Although it could just be that they can't find her in time.
Mhm.
That she's out of sight in Jacob's cabin.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be shitty though if Claire comes looking for her baby and sorry Claire, Aaron's gone, and and that's just you lucked out. I just don't see them doing that. Where she could have had him or something, and now she just will never have him because she wasn't around.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's pretty weird and lame, and I do think she's dead, but I don't know. It's just a weird death. I haven't reconciled it yet.
Yeah.
Because it seemed to involve her walking around for a while after she died.
Well, she hasn't been confirmed dead yet.
That's true.
So we'll see about that. Did you do the little next scene with Saeed?
No. I'll do. I just wanted to focus on the press conference.
Okay.
First, but I think we disposed of that. The Oceanic Six leads the press conference. Decker comes up to Saeed and tells him that there is a woman who's not a family member waiting for him outside. Let's see, her name is Noor Abed Jazim, a.k.a. Nadia. Saeed goes out to meet her, and after they look at each other for a while, they have a little kiss and hug. And, this is, I kind of blew through that, but this is a big event for the show.
Yeah.
Because, since season 1, he's been lamenting this Nadia person and, the whole thing he did where he shot himself and let her go. And we've seen her pop up in a ton of flashbacks. And, So, yeah, this is pretty momentous for Saeed, definitely. But I don't really know what to say about it.
I wonder if Nadia will, or if Saeed will ever find out that, Locke inspected Nadia's house.
Yeah. Or that Charlie saved her from a mugger.
Yeah, exactly.
It'd be really
Charlie's
weird.
a hero.
Yeah. I gave a speech singing the praises of Charlie.
There's not much to say about this.
The weird thing about her, to me, is that she's gonna die soon. And I just don't get it. I don't understand why she's gonna die.
Well, because Saeed needs a reason to help Ben.
Well, yeah, but but I want an internal reason. What
do you mean internal reason?
I want something within the story for why they kill her.
Oh, you mean why? You mean just why she gets killed?
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be a crazy reason. Probably. I mean, isn't she wanted? I mean, she's a criminal, isn't she?
Well, yeah, I
guess
her country. So. Maybe that's the idea. Maybe that's all it is. But I mean, according to Ben, the guy worked for Widmore. So it makes it seem like it was more than that. Oh,
that's right. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I just don't get it. Okay. So let's see. You ready, right? Okay. The next scene is we're back to the present, if you will. Saeed is on the Zodiac craft, heading toward the islands. We see him arrive on shore, Many of the survivors come to meet him. Saeed says we have to start ferrying people to the freighter right now so they can finish before the helicopter returns. He says that the men on the helicopter have every intention of killing us all. Juliet tells Saeed that Jack and Kate just went running after the helicopter. And that's the end of the scene.
All right.
Anything about that? I mean, this is...
Well, we finally, for the people on the beach, we finally have an answer. Yes, they are here to kill us all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's been back and forth, and people have said things, and now it's clear.
Yeah.
They are going to kill them.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't believe it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But Kimi and his people didn't really assert themselves for a while, and they're the people that I could see actually doing this.
Yeah, and that was the thing. The question originally was, are they here to kill us or rescue us?
Yeah.
And they weren't there to kill them.
Right.
They were there to get Ben or whatever. But will they kill them? Yes.
Yeah.
Are they planning to do it now? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a big deal. But this is more like information sharing. We gotta everybody's gotta communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So should I just go to the next scene?
Mm-hmm.
It's a fast-paced episode here. We go over to Ben, Hurley, and Locke. Picking up from the last episode. Hurley asks where they are going. Ben says they're going to the Orchid, which is a greenhouse, and what they're going to do there is move the island. Ben does not elaborate on this. Hurley asks, why not... Here we go. Hurley asks, why not just move the island before the psychos with guns arrived? Ben says that moving the island is dangerous and unpredictable and only a last resort. They stop walking when Ben notices and then pulls out a little chest that's concealed by some rocks in the ground. Locke opens the chest. He wants to open the chest, and he does. He hands a little thing to Hurley, which has some crackers that Hurley starts to eat. There's also a mirror in there that on a string that Ben takes. Locke takes some binoculars. Ben uses the mirror to communicate, to use the sun and flash a Morse code signal, I guess. Locke asks Ben who he's communicating with. Ben says, "Who do you think?" Ben continues to signal. Through Locke's binoculars, we can see that someone else is signaling back to Ben. Ben says, "Now we can go." Locke asks Ben what he told them. Ben says, "None of your business, John." That's it.
All right.
Yeah. So what? Is this the others?
Yeah, it's the others. Who else
Okay.
could it be? I don't think it's Jacob. That's, I think it's the others.
Yeah, when Locke says them, I take it that he's assuming it's the others.
Mm-hmm.
And that does seem like the obvious thing. And of course later the others take action. So, but I don't really know what he could tell them that would cause them to do what they do. Because it doesn't seem like he should know about Saeed and Kate.
Well, Saeed and Kate are on their way to the Orchid, right?
Yes.
I think it could just be that he probably told them that Kimi and his people are going to the Orchid, and that maybe, he's going to try to move the guy, get them prepared for that. And that might involve them going there, which is why they run into Kate and Saeed.
Okay, so they just happen to run into them and decide to kind of take them.
Yeah, I don't think he said, go get Austin and
Mhm.
I keep thinking Jack is there, Austin and Gerard. You know, I don't think he said that. Yeah, I think he just was informing them of what was going on.
Okay.
To me, it's weird that someone is waiting up there just to like, you know, watching for flashes of Morse code. But but I guess that makes sense. Maybe if someone has a post, it was sort of at the top of a cliff, so maybe there's a lookout there or something.
Mhm.
But
one of the things that surprised me about this scene and sort of in general, because of the last episode, I mean, it really seemed like Ben was totally cut off from the others, was doing his own thing, and it also seemed like he had kind of, you know, given up a certain amount of control to Locke. In this episode, he just becomes Ben again.
Takes it back, yeah. It was weird when he's like, he says, you know, we're gonna go move the island. It made it seem like Ben was gonna do all the work, but then at the very end, he told Locke what to do to actually go down to the Orchid. But yeah, it seems that's the thing. It seems like if Locke was. It seems like Locke would not be able to do what Christian asked him to do without Ben.
Yeah. I agree.
That's just weird because it seemed like, okay, Ben was on the outs, but not quite yet.
Yeah.
Because everything is set up for Ben. You know, Ben knows everything. So.
Yeah, Locke would have no idea what to do.
Yeah, he wouldn't know what to do.
I mean, unless Christian would just fill him in on all these things that Ben tells him. You know, which it doesn't seem like he did.
Yeah.
Seems like he just told him, you know.
Does Christian know about the Orchid?
I don't know. I don't know what Christian knows.
Me either.
I mean, if he told Locke to move the island, like, there better be a way to do it, or that's not very helpful.
Yeah.
So I would assume he knows that there's a way to do it. But I don't know how much he knows.
Why can't he go do it?
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if he's an apparition or whatever, can't he just, like, appear in the Orchid and press the button or whatever?
It seems like it would be way easier for him than it is for them. Yeah, I don't know.
I was really surprised Hurley ate those crackers.
Oh.
Like, they could have been poison, they could have been, you know, special other crackers, you know, who knows what, you know, it'd be different if it was like a pantry or something, but it was like a secret hidden, you know, stash of things, and he just, like, pops them in it. Is he really that hungry for crackers that he's just going to eat these things? That was so weird to me. He didn't think twice. He just like, here's some crackers I'm going to eat. That was so weird to me. And I like Ben's reaction. He gave him that look like, I was 15 years old. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's terrible. You know, I hate stale crackers. And I can't even imagine 15-year-old crackers. Like, to me, like, you know, I don't know. Like a few month-old crackers I can't stand.
Yeah.
You know, and they just...
That was so weird that he did that to me. I just, hey, here's some food I'm going to eat.
Yeah.
He has no idea what's going on there.
Yeah, that's
so weird.
That's weird. And what do you think this chest is about? Is this like, is this the other stuff? They just planted it there
they just hide stuff. They just hide stuff around.
Yeah, it reminds me of that thing from season 3, the thing that Juliet went to, that was supposedly the cure for Claire's ailment.
Oh, that's what we should have talked about. How come Juliet doesn't know about the Orchid?
Yeah, I know. I know. I expected her to.
I feel like she should at least have heard that it's a greenhouse.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it seems like these stations, a lot of the stations have this, like, alternative function, this sort of, like, facade, you know.
Yeah.
The Tempest, it's a power station. You know, the Orchid, it's a greenhouse. The Flame, the Flame was what it was.
Yeah. Some of them just are what they are, but they're the medical station has that hidden room I mean, it is what it is, but it has a certain amount of, concealment about it. And of course Ben's house has that extra room. There is this thing with Dharma that they just, I mean, it might just be a show thing, but they just seem to build a lot of secret stuff.
Yeah, and the temple, maybe it's really got some sort of altar or something, but then it's probably got something else there too.
Yeah. I'd like to see that. I don't know if we will this season. I'm curious about what's supposed to be going on with that.
I wonder what would have happened with Alfred in this episode if he wasn't back on the show. Would someone else have led the others? Would the others be even around,
Yeah, if Kane was still on and he couldn't be there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's weird. And what would they have done with last episode, too?
Yeah. Had Tom or something?
He played
that
a
wouldn't
major
have made
role.
any sense.
Yeah, that's the thing, because Richard's the one who can be there reasonably. If they said that about Tom, then it would be weird that that he wasn't aging either. Yeah, that's makes it seem like it was really dependent on chance.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a little disturbing. The other thing is the more stations and Dharma shit they put on the island, it just seems like, I don't know. It just seems like the island's just filled with stuff.
Mhm.
They should. I don't know.
If there can't be more stations after this. There just can't be.
I hope not. It's out of hand, and it just. I don't know. It makes it seem like how long could they go thinking this island was just had nothing on it.
Yeah, the island's not that big.
All that stuff there. At least, God, I don't know, 10, 11, 12 different structures just hanging around.
Mm-hmm. It's not that many, is it?
Well, I think so.
How many stations are there?
Well, I think there's about 8 or 9 stations. Right?
What else are you counting?
Well, I'm counting the Tempest. What else am I counting? I feel like there's other stuff I'm forgetting here. Something like the tower, the radio tower.
Okay, yeah, there's 9 stations. There's the Arrow, the Staff, the Swan, the Flame, Pearl, Orchid, Hydra, Tempest, Looking Glass. Hydra's not on the island, so that doesn't really count for that. And the Looking Glass isn't either.
Yeah, okay.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stations that they could have presumably found. I mean, obviously some are hidden and stuff, but they could have found. Or they did find most of them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there's more than you would think on the island, and even just coming across the Swan should have told them that there was craziness going on the island.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah. It's just I don't know. The impression you have of the island early on is just so wrong.
Mhm.
It's not this just nature area. It's it's just. There's plenty of stuff. I mean, and if you include this, the other the ancillary things, the Looking Glass and the Hydra, it's just they did find the cable pretty early.
Mhm.
And I guess that I really feel like I'm forgetting something. I feel like there's something else. I'm gonna be wrong about that though. I don't know.
Well, there's the barracks.
Oh yeah, the barracks. Of course, we didn't learn about that until a lot later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. The barracks. Yeah, maybe that's.
And there's that obelisk that they were at. When the others were trekking around the island.
Oh yeah. I'm assuming that's not a Dharma structure.
Yeah, Yeah, who knows?
I'm not 100% sure about that, but
yeah,
it doesn't seem to be.
Well, but I thought the point was structures that would let them know that there's craziness on the island. Yeah, I mean, they would have seen that.
That was the point. Yeah, so I guess you can include that and the statue. Yeah, I don't know. Every time they just kind of go to a new place, it's just, I don't know. It always strikes me that this is the first time we're seeing it. I mean, I guess you have to discover everything for the first time, but I don't know. I want them to know about everything already. And yeah, if they pull another station out, it's just, I don't know, at a certain point it's just going to seem ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys. I just start feeling like they're just,
making up stuff.
Making it up, yeah. Yeah, like it wasn't really part of the plan from the beginning. But whatever. Okay. So, anything else about this scene?
I don't think so.
The thing about why not just move the island earlier?
In the first place, yeah.
Is that's the kind of thing that I never noticed before I started thinking about writing. It always came across natural to me, and it is a natural question to ask. But now it plays to me like
they're answering the question,
like excuse making.
Yeah, it is because it is excuse making. It just from a writing standpoint, it doesn't make sense to use the craziest thing first. And yeah, they say it's unpredictable and it's dangerous, but, is it because that's how they make it,
Yeah.
Or is it because it just really is?
Yeah. And it just seems like a weak reason. I don't know. I mean, it's plausible, but it's just not it's so vague,
I mean, yeah, he could basically say, I expected him to say anything from like, well, Hugo, we didn't, I was hoping it wouldn't get this far or come to that, I mean, it was fine, measure of last resort, but it's the kind of thing where they're kind of answering the question so the audience doesn't have to ask it.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me.
There's a lot of that in this episode. I mean, that's what the whole press conference was. They brought up, you guys look really healthy. I mean, that's what audiences have been saying the whole time. So they brought that up, and they didn't have to really answer it, but they brought it up so that we can say, oh, okay, they brought it up.
Yeah. They get points for bringing it up, even if they don't, answer it.
Yeah.
Which is a nice thing. It's a nice little magic trick, I think. That's what I was going to say. I forgot to say this earlier. I don't want to dwell on this too much because I don't think it's worth it, but I want to at least say it. The story that they're telling, the geography of it is a little bit weird. Where they're supposed to have crashed seems like it's way off from where they should have been, and where we think they are.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's somehow tied into where the plane, like I said, where the plane was supposed to have crashed.
Yeah, but I don't understand. I mean, where they should be right now is where the island really is. You know what I mean? And so I don't understand how they're going to get over there. And they don't necessarily. Well, maybe they know. Maybe they can find out. But how are they going to get all the way over there? To wash up in the area where they should be, if the faked plane is real.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, they're gonna have to get there somehow. Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna do it. I mean, at a certain point, their story has to be true. At a certain point, it can't all be fake. At a certain point, they either really get to that first island or they either really get to that second island. I mean, they have the picture of them, coming aboard. I don't know how that was done.
Yeah.
First of all, who had a camera? Second of all, was that, to me, that's what I felt like Oceanic was part of it. you know, when they had that, like, picture of them being rescued and stuff. And I don't know. I feel like there's going to have to be some sort of moment where they can all get on the same page and decide what the story is and somehow have the right kind of knowledge, you know, to sort of, you know, what's the geography of the area we claim that we're in, you know, what island could we even say we went to, you know, like that kind of stuff to make the story seem true. They're going to need information I don't think these 6 have. So that's going to be interesting. And things like, where did the plane really crash? You know, where, you know, things like that. Like if they're going to say, well, we know that the world believes the plane crashed, then if we're going to stick to that story and not call into question that whole thing, then they need to know where the plane crashed. You know, where the wreckage was found, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, I mean, they could potentially ask, you know, some of these real-world people about it.
But they're going to have their story before they get really...
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like... Well, they could maybe figure it out when they get to that that little island, the Sunda Island. But you know what? You know, would they really know?
Yeah.
You know, if they ask people there, would they really know? I feel like they need to have their story straight before they even get close to any real people.
Yeah. And I'm just worried about transportation. I mean, I don't think they can take that Zodiac raft from where the island actually is to where they're supposed to wash up. You know, I think that's way too far for that little thing to go. I mean, even just gas-wise. Because it looks like it's, you know, all the way across Australia almost.
Yeah. I was trying to find that map of where they were claiming they were. I guess it's before they start talking here. Let's see. Yeah, because basically, let's see. Let me find a real map now.
Yeah. Their map isn't zoomed out enough for me.
Because basically they're found in Indonesia, in those islands, which is basically quite a bit north of where they should be.
Yeah.
I guess.
North and west.
North and west.
Yeah, they should
and
be.
And why would the plane wasn't even flying in that direction?
Yeah, I know. That's that's what I'm saying. Like, that was a bad place to just plant the plane. Because it doesn't even make sense that it would have been there, you know. And I think there's some evidence that the island is in the Fiji area, which is
well, yeah, that's where it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Now, was it that the plane? How far off course was the plane?
It was supposed to be pretty far off course.
Was it like 1,000 miles or something?
Something like that. Yeah. They say that on the pilot. I don't remember, but that sounds right.
Maybe it's supposed to be that they flew somehow. The instruments were messed up and they flew west 1,000 miles.
And they just flew the wrong way. Yeah.
And that's really crazy.
So maybe they were just wrong about the Fiji thing. Like they were never anywhere near that.
Oh, you mean? Well, what do you mean? I don't know what you're saying. Who was wrong about that?
They you know.
Because we've gotten from several different sources that they're close to Fiji and that they're close to Tahiti.
Yeah.
From several different sources. So I don't think that could not be true.
Didn't we spent a little time in Meet Kevin Johnson figuring out where the freighter came from, right?
Probably.
Didn't it? I mean, I don't remember it being on that Indonesia side. I remember it being.
It wasn't. We mapped it out, and it was where it was supposed to be on the east side. But
and that indicates that the island really is thereabouts where they.
Yeah, I don't think they're saying the island wasn't where we thought it was. Otherwise, Rousseau couldn't have gotten there.
That's right, Rousseau. Rousseau was one of the people.
We've heard from several different people about Tahiti and Fiji. So.
Yeah. It's true.
I don't think that's not true. I think their story is just not that great.
Yeah. Okay. And
I would love to figure out how the plane went the other way for that long.
That someone should have asked that.
And why not? And here's the other question: is if it's true that they got to the Sumba Island, maybe that's really the craziness. Is how did they really get there? Because why not just say they made it to Fiji? Or they made it to Tahiti or something.
Yeah, I mean the only reason I can imagine is if they want it to line up with the fake plane.
And why would the fake plane be there though?
That's the thing. That makes the fake plane planter seem like a not very good. Makes it seem like a bad plan.
Mhm.
The candidates we have right now are Ben and Widmore. Maybe Widmore just doesn't know where the island is, but he could at least fabricate a reasonable place for the plane to be. Knowing where it came from.
Well, he's got the black box. He should know where the plane. He should know the coordinates of. He really should know. If that's the real black box, it should have flight data, so it should tell it how long it was flying and what vector. And he should be able to tell. He should be able to get close.
I don't think that's the real black box, though. I think that's the fake black box.
The fake black box?
Yeah. I think the real black box is still on the plane on the island.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and that's still confusing because.
Oh, I forgot about that. So he couldn't even use that for anything then.
Yeah, it should have been useless.
Well, then that's the thing. Then it still stands that he should have used if he thought it was the real black box, which I guess he should have known it wasn't. Then he would have used that. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe he has. Well, I was going to say maybe he used that black box and he just fabricated data, and then the authorities are using that data to say, okay, well, the plane was here.
Mm-hmm.
But if the black box, if they've got the black box, then the authorities don't have it. Then the authorities aren't using that to verify anything. So that doesn't even make sense. So I would have to say pass.
Okay.
I don't know what to do with where they were found and everything. I think we'll figure it out more. I mean, it could be they were transported there. It could be whatever they do at the Orchid, just when the island moves, it
moves over there.
Well, not that or it sends out some sort of shockwave or something that makes them appear where they claim they are or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Because it is dangerous and unpredictable.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, there's that possibility. I hadn't thought about that. All right, well, I pretty much passed, too. I just, I can't quite make sense of it at this point, so. Had to bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, next scene?
Yeah.
Okay. The next scene is back at the beach. We are near the raft, the Zodiac raft that Saeed brought. Various survivors are preparing to leave. Dan offers to ferry people while Saeed goes after Jack and Kate. Saeed looks at Juliet and agrees, giving Dan the compass and saying he knows the heading. Saeed walks away. Juliet says Sun is pregnant. She should go first. Miles and Kate show up. Kate and Saeed discuss the situation. Kate says she needs to go. She needs to go with Saeed to track them. She's the tracker. So Kate hands off Aaron to Sun without explanation, and Saeed and Kate head off into the jungle. Meanwhile, the first group of 6, most notably Sun and Jin, get on the raft and start heading for the freighter. We see them as they're whatever the adjective is for the boat, riding in the boat, boating, I don't know, rafting, I don't know what to say. Anyway, that's what they're doing, and Jin says, "I told you I'd get you off this island."
I love how everyone, like a lot of people want to take credit for that.
Mm-hmm.
I told you I'd get you rescued. Really? You did? Is this all you, Jen?
Thanks,
Jen, this
Jen.
is all because of you. Like, how is that possible? What? He really should have said, "I told you we'd be okay" or something. Like, not that, like, he what did he do? Oh, well, I don't think this counts, but he did, I forgot about that thing he said to Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that hasn't come into play. She didn't do anything.
No, because it was Juliet who said Sun should go first.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. Yeah, that hasn't come into play. Maybe
it
will.
It was supposed to be the helicopter too.
Yeah.
Because they didn't know about the raft. It was supposed to be when the helicopter comes, she's supposed to be on it.
Yeah.
So that threat didn't really come to anything.
No. Maybe it will. Maybe something will happen again in the future.
You know what's going to happen? I just realized it. Oh my God! I just realized what's going to happen.
Oh no! Spoiler alert!
Well, how about this for a simple answer?
Okay.
Dan gets everyone back on the boat, and as much people as he can.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Jack and those guys are on the north side or wherever they went to the Orchid, and they, whatever happens there, Kate, Jack, Saeed, and Hurley
mm-hmm.
Get on the helicopter.
Yeah.
And they meet Sun and Aaron on the freighter.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's C4 on there, which it's going to explode.
Probably, yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen C4 in a show and it not go off.
Yeah, the last time was Michael's fake bomb in Meet Kevin Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
And that was,
a fake bomb.
A ploy, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's probably what's going to happen is they're gonna end up rendezvousing back on the freighter, and they're going to be like, and maybe the freighter will get, maybe they'll have, I can see Hendricks, who's the new captain, I guess, or whatever, say, well, we passed an island, blah, 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 somewhere, and maybe, basically I'm thinking the 6 people will load into the helicopter,
mm-hmm.
and then they'll fly that somewhere, because that has a longer range.
Yeah.
I could see that. And then who's ever left on the boat, it just blows up or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Which, wow. If everyone on the boat died, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, that's weird, because I don't think Desmond's going to die.
Yeah, I don't either.
Well, Sun says we'll get to that, but, we'll speculate about all that.
Yeah.
Which I think is
what?
The next scene.
Yeah. That's the end of my half. So,
all right.
I'm handing this off to you.
I don't want it.
Well, sorry.
Anything else in this scene? That's it?
I can't think of anything else.
Oh, that was the other thing. I think I mentioned that on a previous podcast that it made sense to me that if Kate, that Kate would basically give the baby to Sun. We talked about that before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's exactly what happens because it's like, why wouldn't she want to go help? She's been doing that the entire time.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. They just did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Well, the next scene.
If Sun didn't have her own
Or
baby, sorry, it just that triggered a thought. If Sun didn't have her own baby, oh, never mind. What am I talking about? Go ahead.
All right.
Carry
Next
on.
scene. We're back in the flash forward. Sun, who is very pregnant, is at Pike Industries where her dad works, and she goes up to his office to see him. In the office, Pike is reprimanding some of his underlings and employees. Something apparently happened, and whoever did it used 5 different banks. And Pike tells them to get Yoon up there right now. As the men leave, Sun comes in and questions what's going on, and he just says it's some complications with the company, nothing she would understand. He asks about her pregnancy. She tells him her tone changes her tone changes, and she tells him don't pretend to be interested in her baby. Because they both know that he hated Jin, and Pike questions, what's going on, and she says, "You heard me. You hated Jin," and he demands respect, and she basically tells him that Oceanic paid their settlement, and it was very significant, which I think significant means like 8 zeros behind that number, and she says this morning she brought a controlling interest in Pike Industries. So now he has to respect her. He asks why she would do this. She says because he ruined Jin's life. It was her dad's fault that they were even on the island. Sorry, that they were on the plane, thus making them be on the island.
And therefore,
But that's not what she said, but that's what she means. And she says there's 2 people responsible for Jin's death, and he's one of them. So Sun says that she's going to go have her baby, and when that's done, they'll discuss plans for the future of the company. Our company.
Ooh.
And scene.
All right.
So I have a theory about that last line, the future of the company. I have a theory what that might mean.
All right, let's hear it.
I think if Jack is really eager to get back to the island, that Sun might be able to help in some way with Pike's company. I don't know how or why.
Okay.
It's just that.
All right, that sounds plausible. That's my question, which you have answered already, was going to be, do you think that Sun kind of taking over, majority in her dad's company is going to play a role in the future? Is this just,
just for this scene,
throwaway, like, development of Sun's life, back in the real world?
No, I feel like she does have a plan. Otherwise, why say that? I feel like she has an idea of what she wants to do with the company. And see, that's the thing. I feel like, this would be a good opportunity, they could help Jack get back to the island with the company's money, but Jack should have money of his own.
Yeah.
Just from the settlement. And I don't know how much money it takes to find an island stuck in time and transported through space, but whatever it is, maybe they don't have enough, or they won't have enough. What was this thing about 5 different banks? I didn't understand if that was supposed to mean it was so much money it was 5 different banks, or we can't track who did it because it was 5 different banks.
I think my impression was the second thing.
Okay.
But I don't really know because they don't give you a lot of details to work with. I could be wrong, but that's what I was thinking.
What does it matter how many bang? Unless I don't know. Not really important, but I just thought it was strange.
Yeah. I don't think it matters. So the other thing about this scene is the two people.
Oh, that's right.
So Son's dad's one of them, so check. Who's the other person? Any theories?
Check. I don't know. I mean, first you have to ask, is this person dead or not? I mean, you get the sense the person isn't, or this person hasn't been punished for it yet. So, if the person is still alive, I think whoever it is someone who sort of was directly responsible for his death.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But that would also, I'd also imagine that person is still around. So who could that be? Unless she's thinking Widmore or something,
Yeah, if she wants to go big, I guess. Yeah.
Hey, go big or go home.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think she knows anything about Widmore at this point, but
yeah, well, I figure whatever happens on the boat will be pretty significant if that's where Jen dies.
Yeah, I think you're right. It could be. It seems weird to blame, I don't think she really knows. Well, maybe she'll find out. It's so vague, but I do agree. I think the other person, I'm inclined to think the other person will be the person who's more directly responsible for Jen dying.
Yeah.
I
could see her saying who sent you people, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
And she finds out it's Widmore or something, but yeah, I would imagine that it's someone who the guy who killed him directly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something makes me think it's Desmond.
Oh, really?
Something makes me think, not that Desmond really killed Jen. I know I'm contradicting myself here, but just that somehow he's responsible. And it's just a wild guess, but something makes me think of Desmond for some reason.
Okay.
Like somehow he's responsible for Jen's death and she blames him.
Mhm.
But it's just speculation.
Okay. Yeah, I never would have guessed Desmond.
He needs some more drama. I don't know.
Yeah, he is in drama trouble. Yeah, he's been on hold since The Constant.
Yeah, which is weird.
Yeah, it is weird. So yeah, maybe he will. I was thinking maybe Michael, or Kimi, if he shows back up.
Mhm.
He's always good to be responsible for somebody's death.
Yeah.
But I really don't have any reason for thinking that. It's just wild speculation on my part. So, but it's a little thing. I do think Jen's dead though.
I totally think he's dead. I totally think he's dead.
Yeah, I mean, she has to say that he's dead. But this scene and her sort of confronting her dad about it, I feel like has a lot more force if he really is dead.
I don't see her doing this if he's not dead. I don't see her saying there's two people responsible for his death.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah, I just don't see that. And even if it's like he's stuck on the island and she's pissed about that, I just don't see her doing that. And I thought he was dead from, his funeral scene. Yeah, when she was crying over the grave, I just don't see her doing that. Even if, I don't see any reason she would go that far.
Yeah. We talked about the difference between someone actually dying and knowing that they're alive somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And that it really is different. Even if, neither of them are great, but, the other one's clearly better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree. And that's another scene that I think, loses some of its force if he's not dead.
Definitely.
So I think he's going to die, and I guess, based on the way the things are going, I think he's going to die in this next episode.
Yeah, I think this is the last season for Jen.
Yeah, which is, wow. Which is, he's had a character arc, and I think he's in a fairly good place. I mean, the recent thing with Charlotte is a bit of a aberration, a blemish on his record, but
he learned English and he got crazy.
Yeah, he did. So, and yeah, I do wonder if Sun or Kate are going to get involved with Oceanic 6's later adventures. I guess it seems like they ought to, but I don't know.
What do you mean? What later adventures?
Whatever they do later, whatever they do after they've been back for a while, and potentially they try to get together and go back to the island, or whatever it is that they're supposed to do in the future.
Yeah, I don't see Kate going back, and I don't see Kate and Sun wanting to go back.
Yeah, I kind of don't either.
I don't see. I mean, they just don't have any reason to.
Yeah, it's true. Now, if Jen were alive, she might have, that would be a reason for her too. I don't think he is. So.
Yeah, even if Jen was alive, I feel like I think she would have to question, it's the situation with the baby. I don't. I mean, would she really want to risk being stuck on the island with the baby forever?
Yeah.
I think she would be interested in finding it. I just don't see her herself going back for to get Jen if she's got a baby. Especially I don't see her bringing the baby, and I don't see her wanting to leave the baby. So that's why I think they won't even get into that.
Yeah.
Because I think he's dead, and she doesn't have a reason to go back.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe she can help out somehow without going.
I think she'll help. I think she'll help out. I don't think she's going to go.
Yeah, I agree. And Kay shouldn't go either. I mean, she shouldn't go legally. She shouldn't necessarily want to go anyway. And she's got a baby too.
Yeah.
So otherwise, I could see her potentially wanting to go. I don't know. She always wanted to do stuff, but when she's back in the real world, she seems like she just wants to, stay put and,
Yeah, I think if she didn't have Aaron, she might be interested in going back for Sawyer, maybe. But I think they left it in a good spot. I think whatever happens to Sawyer in terms of Kate, I don't think she's regretting anything, or I mean she does that thing for him or whatever, but I don't think it's like she feels like she would need to go back for him.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think she's thinking that either. She doesn't come off that way at all. So yeah, maybe it's just going to be Jack and Saeed and Hurley.
I don't see Saeed going back. I don't see him wanting to go back. Do you? I mean, I don't see him
wanting to go back. I just, I guess basically because I don't think he's happy. I don't think his life is settled. So he's at least available to go.
He's available. I don't know what would settle him by going back to the island. I mean, with Nadia dead, I mean, I don't know what Saeed has, which is why I think he starts working for Ben.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, I don't see him really wanting to go back to the island. I think he's doing what he's going to do, and he's just sort of he's trying to protect who's left there, but I don't see him wanting to go back. I hope that who's ever there sort of chose. I mean, obviously a lot of the red shirts wouldn't necessarily choose to stay on the island.
Yeah.
But for the main characters, I think who's ever there chose, or either dead or they chose to stay. Which is, my point is, I don't think there's a lot of people to really rescue.
Oh, yeah. No, it seems like it's not necessarily about rescue. It seems like it's about, like, the island doesn't want them to leave.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're just supposed to go back.
And I don't know, does that apply to everybody?
Yeah, I know. It seems like it only applies to Jack and Hurley so far.
Mm-hmm.
The other people don't seem to have that problem. Maybe they all will. I wonder. It seems weird to me if it doesn't all apply to all of them. I don't understand why not.
Some are dead and some aren't.
Okay, well, there's always that. Maybe they're pulling a Claire with Jack and Hurley dead. I can't imagine. It's so weird. Here's the Oceanic Six, and two of them are dead, and
mm-hmm.
Oh God, the show will just be crazy if that's what happens.
Well, you'll notice they didn't do any vital signs on them, so
yeah.
There was. No, I'm kidding. Jack, you don't have a heartbeat.
Mhm. Oh God, man, that'd be weird. That'd be really weird. But that's the way they portrayed it so far. That it's just that so far what they've shown is just about those two, and the rest of them. It seems like Saeed's obviously terribly unhappy. I think, but he doesn't seem to be haunted by stuff that's telling him to go back to the island. So
here's a Saeed question. What's that line? Ben's line to Saeed about remember last time you thought with your heart instead of your gun?
Yeah.
We thought Nadia might be on the freighter, which doesn't look like that's obviously true.
Yeah, no.
So I wonder what's going to happen. I guess maybe it's something at the Orchid, because I think that's the next time they'll all be together.
He gets a chance to make some decisive choices.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that makes sense. I thought the Nadia thing would be it. Even if she wasn't on the boat, I thought maybe, something to do with her. But, now we saw, how they met the first time again, and she's just killed shortly after, and it doesn't seem like he was even around.
Yeah.
To make some kind of choice like that. So yeah, maybe we'll see that in the next episode. That he'll do something. Ben knows about it, so maybe he'll. He's there.
Yeah.
So so potentially, yeah, that seems like a good bet for the next episode. We can all look out for that.
Yep.
I can't imagine what it's going to be really, but somehow it's got to have a bad result.
Yeah.
And
maybe something will happen, and I don't know. Something to do with Kimi, and he could have, Saeed, has the opportunity to shoot him, and he doesn't, and Kimi shoots someone else, or something else happens, or
yeah, okay, yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, that sounds like the kind of thing that would work. Yeah, Saeed doesn't shoot somebody or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not really a lot to go on that, but it's up in the air. What can you do?
Catch it, I guess, if it's up in the air.
Yeah. Well, I can't.
You ready for the next scene?
Yes.
Next scene, we're back in the future, and flash forward. Hurley comes home, and he's got some Mr. Clucks in his hand. I guess he just can't get enough of that chicken, even though meteorite crashed into the last one he was at. That's okay. So he comes in.
Can't happen twice, right?
I know. What? There's no such thing as bad luck. Oh wait. So he comes home and he doesn't see anyone. He calls for his mom and dad and the trans, who I guess are their housekeepers. I guess one is the cook and one is the. What are they? I forgot. Were they both?
I think they were supposed to be like chefs.
They were chefs.
That he hired them from some restaurant.
That's right.
If I remember right, he gave them money and dismissed them.
Yeah, I didn't think they were still around.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on there, but I think in the episode, the last one with his dad, the Trisha Tanaka's dead one, I think he gave him like a big roll of money and let them go.
Yeah, I think so.
So I don't know what's going on with that.
I think the idea is maybe they were just rehired.
Yeah, okay. Well, that would be easy.
Yeah. So he's walking and he stumbles over a coconut that he finds on the floor, which is kind of strange, and he starts to hear some whispering coming from another room. He grabs the statue of Jesus and approaches the door, and then, surprise, it's a surprise party.
Oh.
And his mother tells him that Jesus Christ is not a weapon, and to enjoy his party. The next little scene, he sees that Kate and Aaron are there, and then Saeed and Nadia are there. And they all kind of talk a little bit. And then Hurley's dad comes to interrupt and wants to show him his birthday present. And the next scene, they go out to the car. They go out to the garage, and we find that Hurley's dad has fixed up the old car that they were supposed to work on when he was a kid. He did it as a memorial to him, and that he did not sort of pay for it with the money, that he did it himself, and that it's all Hurley's. So Hurley and his dad get in the car. Hurley gets behind the seat. Then Hurley realizes that on the odometer is the numbers, the cursed numbers in which he won the lottery. And Hurley gets freaked out and runs away, and that's the scene.
All right. So first of all, this was a rare triumph for me. I called surprise party like 2 seconds after this whisper started.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I never do that, and so I have to revel when I get to, because I never predict anything. But yeah, I was like, no way, this isn't real. They're tricking us.
I totally thought it was real.
Wow.
I was like, there's no way it's not something crazy. I was like, because I just wanted some craziness, and I'm just like, no, this should be something, this should be something. We're hearing whispers. Because I'm like, why would you hear whispers? If it's a surprise party, I'm like, why would people, why? But of course they're just setting it up like that. But
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see this coming, so
they're totally. Something about the way they shot it just told me, like, this is trickery. This isn't a real scary thing that's happening. And he, when he starts going to open the door, I'm like, you're not going to find anything behind there. It's going to be good news. It's going to be a surprise party, and you're going to look silly with the statue.
Yeah. Once he picks up the statue, it was pretty clear, like, okay, well, like, what's he really going to do with that?
Yeah. Yeah. That was yeah, I don't know.
I liked her line about Jesus Christ is not a weapon.
Mhm.
Somehow that seemed to be some sort of I don't know,
comment,
religious political comment.
Yeah.
about that kind of thing.
Yeah, it does. I didn't really think about it that way. I took it literally, but I guess you could take that in a general way and make it some kind of statement about religion and how you should use it, and quite grandiose for. I
know, old Carmen.
Yeah,
old Carmen Reyes. She's a prophet.
Apparently.
A sage.
So yeah. So it's a surprise party. Happy.
Like, did he forget it was his birthday? It was just weird that he's like, and first of all, like, where was he? I mean, these are all just, ridiculous questions that don't have anything to do with it. But I thought it was strange. Usually, with a surprise party, on the convention is that someone would be with you sort of diverting your attention while they set up this party. But he just looked like he ran to get some chicken.
Yeah.
And I know we're not supposed to believe they did this whole party in the time it took him to go get chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe he was coming from somewhere, but it's like how did they know when he was going to come back? Like, all, the little sort of nuances of that party were really weird to me.
Yeah.
Because, like, he forgot it was his birthday. He didn't, and he just thought, I'm just going to get some chicken. No one's going to do anything for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was just presumed dead for all this time, and it's my birthday. Yeah. It was just weird.
It is.
Like, if it was just surprise, welcome home, that would be one thing, but it was his birthday party.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And his dad says, they have this thing about, it's sort of a Hawaiian theme party, an island theme party, and, he says his mom doesn't get it, because of course he doesn't want to think about being on an island because he was stranded there.
Yeah.
And then as he says that, the dad comes over and kind of makes a similar comment about, what are you guys talking about, building a fire or hunting boar?
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird because it's like, why would he assume they were boar?
Yeah.
And that they hunted him, or unless that's what Hurley said or something.
Yeah.
Off screen, but so this thing about the car, I think that's the biggest thing here.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. That's sort of a real thing. The rest of this is just kind of fun and frivolity. I don't know what to do about that. If this is, it's a little too perfect. Even for me to call it a coincidence.
Yeah.
Lining up just right, in order, just for him. But I don't know what that means. I mean, if this is just, an early manifestation of this, this thing about the island, about them being dead, or potentially, or the island wanting them back, or they never left, or whatever is supposed to be going on here. If that's all this is, just, an early indication that he's, all's not right with the world, that the spirit of the island is still there.
That's as far as I take it. I mean, before the numbers Hurley used the numbers, but they didn't really show up places.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're showing up is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know what to do with it besides, just an early sign that of things to come, basically.
Mhm. Yeah. He does drive that car eventually. So at some point he gets over it.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. The madcap chase from the beginning of the season. So, yeah, I don't know what to do with that. But it kind of reminds me of that Desmond episode from season 3 where, 108 came up on the clock or something, and then the microwave was beeping, the thing in the hatch. It kind of seemed like that, more so than the dead island people visiting them.
Yeah.
Which I think Desmond's thing, I don't know, I think they were just messing around. I don't really know what that's about, but that didn't happen the other time. But
was that during his time travel thing?
That was Flash Before Your Eyes. That was after the hatch implosion.
Mhm. When he was going through different time periods.
Yeah. Presumably. I mean, we only really saw one thing, one time period, but he did say that his life flashed before his eyes, which seems like it means more than just that short period of time that we got to see.
Mhm.
And at the time, I thought that that it was in his head, and that's why the stuff was there. Dream stuff.
Yeah.
It can happen like that. Now it seems like they're supposed to be telling us he really did time travel or something, and I don't really know how to take that, but that's what it reminded me of. It seemed more like that than the ghosts.
Yeah.
Even though I think it's actually related to the ghost stuff.
Well, the numbers aren't ghosts, so
yeah,
they're not going to be too similar.
Right. They shouldn't be. They really shouldn't be.
And if anyone has a theory that the numbers are actually an apparition, don't.
Give us a call.
All right, next scene?
Yes.
So, we're back on the island. Hurley, Locke, and Ben are making their way to the Orchid. Hurley is asking some questions. He says, suppose, the greenhouse does what you say it will. He basically asks if they move the island, won't Kimi and the bad guys move too? And Ben says yes. Hurley says, isn't that a problem? And Ben says he's working on it. And then Hurley says, what about me? I still want to get off the island. And then Locke chimes in and says it's too late for that. Ben asks Locke for his binoculars and basically tells him that they've reached the Orchid. And they're waiting outside, and Ben explains because Widmore knows about the Orchid and what they need is inside. Locke says that I thought you said you had no idea why he was trying to find the island. Ben admits he wasn't being entirely truthful, and Locke asks, when are you ever entirely truthful? Ben gives the binoculars to Locke, and we see that Kimi and his team are already at the Orchid. And that's the scene.
All right.
So, what was weird to me is from I'm not like a military leader or anything. I know it says that on my business card.
Wow.
But, I don't have any advanced training. But I would think if you knew your target was going to go to a certain location, wouldn't you want to, stake out the location and capture your target when it, sort of present the location as available for your target to enter? And then when you see your target entering, then capture your target, not, stand guard,
occupy
the
place.
So that when your target comes, he can either catch you off guard because you're just standing around waiting, or can just go to do something else. Or, if Ben and these guys had sniper rifles, those guys would be dead. Kimi and his team would be dead.
Yeah.
If they had, any kind of rifles, or even regular guns, but, specifically rifles for long-range stuff. But, so I kind of took issue with that idea of we're just going to wait here for Ben, because I just don't think that's what they would do if it was really important that they captured him. Because what if Ben had an alternative plan, or what if Ben called in Smokey, or what if anything? The fact that they're waiting there just, to me, puts them not in the best position. I mean, it's a good position for Ben because he can decide what to do.
Yeah.
But for Kimi and his team, it just seems like a bad call just to wait around.
Yeah.
Why not even hide inside of the Orchid? Take positions inside and hide, so when they get there, they don't see anybody. They walk in thinking they beat them there, and then now they got guns to their heads, and they've captured all three of them. That's just, it's better, but of course, that won't get us what we want, which is for our team to win. But
right. Yeah, that's the thing. They can't pull it off without a hitch. We got to have problems for them as well as us. So yeah, but I agree. Yeah, I didn't really think about it, but yeah, that's just come on, Kimi, you can do better than that.
Yeah, especially for Kimi, you know, I think he can really they can really do better than that.
Yeah. Whoops-a-daisy.
Yeah, oops. But you know, it works well enough.
Yeah, it'll do. Sometimes you have to let things slide.
This line that Locke says, or Ben says, that they're waiting, John, because Charles Widmore, the man who's trying to capture me and kill all the rest of you, knows about this place and knows that what we need is inside. And then John says, I thought you said you had no idea why he was trying to find the island. Well, the reason he's trying to find the island is not because he knows what they need is inside. That's not why he's trying to find the island.
That's a non sequitur response.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, and Ben doesn't challenge him on that. He admits that. Like, he could still say, I don't know why he's trying to find the island. I just know, you know, what he just said.
Yeah, like, obviously the fact that Kimi and his team are there means that, you know, you could guess that Widmore knows that this is a strategic place to get, you know. So you could assume Widmore knows that what we need is in this place.
Yeah.
That, of course, doesn't mean you know why Widmore wants to come to the island.
Yeah, that's a different issue.
It's totally a different issue. Yeah. That's the kind of things that, like, it's a writer thing, you know, that, and it just, I'm like, why didn't they catch that, or are they okay with that just, you know, sort of, because it's like, ooh, we caught Ben in another lie, but it's like, not really, even though he says, he basically agrees.
He admits to it. But...
Yeah, he admits to it, but it's just not exactly right.
Yeah. It tells us that he does know, which, like, I would have suspected anyway. I mean, that's one of those things where when Ben says it, I don't believe it. You know, I have no idea what Widmore's doing. You know, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's just
now
not...
the other side of this is it makes me think that maybe what they're trying to say is what Widmore wants is in the orchid.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, that's the other issue. It's like, well, are they trying to tell us? Are they really saying something here? Where what Widmore really wants is in the orchid.
That it's true. Locke really shouldn't know that, but that's their way of telling us.
Yeah.
That Widmore wants the orchid, which is, I mean, it was the secondary protocol. That kind of bugs me if that's really his ultimate goal.
Well, yeah, I'm thinking it's a little, you know, it's not really cut and dry, but it's more like the important thing that's on the island that Widmore wants has to do with the orchid. Not that moving it or anything like that is really the issue, but that you know, if the orchid has time travel things or whatever, you know, capabilities, then that's what Widmore wants, and that's in the orchid kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that line was weird to me.
It is weird. Didn't that went right by me, but when you read it, it sticks out. I just let him say that. I was just fed up with, like, you know, I wasn't being entirely truthful.
Yeah.
Like, I just, you know.
Like, we already know that. We already expect Ben to be lying, so why even have that exchange?
Like, at this point, just the idea that Ben lies a lot is tiresome.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm fed up with it. I don't want to hear about it, you know. I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unavoidable, clearly, but, like, having them take the time to point it out again, it's just like, I don't know. I just got kind of annoyed with it, but I didn't think about that other thing. That's it's a little late for that Hugo, which is clearly not. Presumably, you know, there's all these other people showing up, Jack and Sawyer and Kate and Saeed and the others, and so presumably somehow Hurley will get with them.
You know, but the thing about that line is, like, we know what's going on, but Locke doesn't know that they're getting people off the island right now.
Yeah, that's true.
So I feel like what he's saying is something more along the lines of, you know, the idea that we're going to be rescued just isn't, you know, we're past that, because obviously the guys who were here to rescue us aren't going to do that.
Ah, okay.
I feel like that's really what he should mean, because he doesn't know that there's people on the other side of the island getting off right now.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But I still feel I think they're saying it the way, you know, the way you took it, you know, or the way it seems to be, which is that it's too late for you to get off right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it's really the issue of the way to get off, which was, you know, these freighter people. In Locke's eyes, just, you know, there is no way to get off, basically, which is what he should say, because he shouldn't think there is.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Locke is out of the loop with all that other stuff that's going on. He only really knows the things that happen to his camp.
Yeah.
Because he's not meeting up with other people to exchange information like what's happening constantly in this episode. So that's I agree. He should be saying that.
Seems like Locke is off of his game in this scene.
Yeah.
He's saying random weird things they're not quite right.
It's true.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, Locke is yeah.
Who wrote this episode? Was it Carlton that even write that?
It is, yeah, they did.
They
did. It's theirs. Okay, so what about this first thing about that's what he said. See, okay, so this first line that Hurley has about doesn't that mean the guns with dudes doesn't that mean the dudes with guns move too? When he said that, like, I took that to mean, doesn't that mean that the freighter will move too?
Oh.
And I was going to bring up, I had this whole thing about when they move the island, the freighter's going to move also. And I was going to say, and then they'll, you know, that's how they'll end up maybe over in the area where they wash up potentially. You know, that's what I was thinking, but now I realize he's actually just talking about Kimi and.
Yeah, I think we brought that up, didn't we? Did we talk about that before?
Oh, did we? If we did, I don't know. Didn't register.
But I thought we mentioned. I mean, maybe we didn't, because we just found out about the moving thing last episode. But I thought, or maybe I thought of that where it was just like, well, if they move the island, and, you know, Kimi and his people will still be on there, they'll still have to get rid of those guys who are on the island.
Yeah. Yeah. But I wasn't even thinking about that. I didn't even think he was talking about Kimi.
Yeah.
Even though, like, it's obvious when you read it. I was just thinking, like, oh my God, it's going to move, like, not just the island, but the whole surrounding area, including stuff that's outside of the barrier. Like,
yeah.
I thought that was crazy, but he isn't saying that.
I thought Jack ran into a force field in that season 3 episode. So.
Yeah. Yeah, to put that in my blunder column.
Yeah.
Okay, but he's really just saying Kimi's still going to be here and there's still going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And so Ben's going to and I thought Ben was going to, like, take care of the freighter somehow. I was like, oh my God, what is he going to do? I read way too much into this. I really just totally misinterpreted the line and then was just, like, making up my own shit to go with it. I really just, he's saying something very pragmatic.
Wah, wah.
Like, they're on the island, therefore, if we move the island, they move. Yeah, exactly. That's what I need. Wah, wah, wah. Walk home with my head down. And
yeah, go sit in the corner.
All right, so there isn't much to talk about with him anymore now that my theory died. Yeah, next scene.
I think we're ready. There's nothing else there. Next scene, we're near the freighter, and Dan is approaching with the first group. They're on the little Zodiac raft. Desmond and another member of the crew help them aboard. Desmond asks where Saeed is. Dan tells him that he went after Jack, that they're headed for the chopper. And Desmond talks to Sun and asks if she's okay. She says she's fine. Dan heads back for the next group and sort of exchanges a little forlorn wave with Desmond. Off screen, we hear Michael saying that the engines are fixed, and then we see a very stunned Sun and Jen. I don't know why I write things with all these, like, get confused. Stunned Sun and Jen see Michael for the first time since he left. And that's the saying.
Like stunned Sun.
A stunned Sun, yeah. I was going to say a sun stun. And when I write them, it all makes sense. But when I have to read it, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's tricky. She just shouldn't be stunned because it's tricky. It's too hard to say.
Yeah, stun sun, stun sun, stun sun.
Stun sun. Yikes. It's too hard. Yeah, I guess they should be surprised.
Are you?
Yeah. This is the second time for them to be surprised by Michael coming back. Although they're probably more surprised this time than they were last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess they're mad at him for the same reason everybody else is. The Ana Lucia, Libby shooting, Ben letting go, betraying, taking Jack, Kate, and Sawyer and Hurley to the others deal.
Yeah.
And then leaving.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much it.
Which is enough. I mean, I think I'd be mad at him, too, for that. What were you saying?
I was just going to say, the next scene is really where all this comes into play.
Oh, okay. Maybe we should go there.
So maybe we just wait till we get there to talk about Michael and Sun and Jen and all their craziness. I don't think there's anything else in this scene, so we can just go to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, it's just people arriving and that little beat there.
Yeah. All right. So the next scene, we're at the helm of the ship. Desmond and Hendricks try to get the engine started, and it works. Desmond tells Hendricks to take them to the island to stay on 305, but there's some RF interference with the photometer. Of course, it can't be the radio room because that's been trashed. But something on the ship is broadcasting a signal. Desmond says he'll find it.
All right.
Yeah, that's that.
Another problem. I had no idea what he was saying. The fathometer?
Yeah, fathometer, which I guess measures fathoms.
I guess so. Wow, yeah. I don't. Oh, he said I can't see the reef. I couldn't understand what he was saying. I couldn't understand what the problem was.
Yeah, the problem is, exactly. He can't tell how to get to the island without hitting the reef.
Okay.
So he doesn't want to get too close.
Okay. I mean, I got the point. I just didn't understand, like, more specifically what was happening, why this was an issue.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't understand what he was saying. I've never heard of a fathometer, so I wouldn't have.
You haven't? What?
No. No, my line of work doesn't put me in contact with fathometers.
You, sir, need to get a new line of work.
I guess so.
Yeah, apparently it's a sonic depth finder.
Okay.
So it's probably like it's sonic, so I'd imagine it's some sort of like a sonar thing, and so it can sort of give you depth perception based on sonar or something.
Yeah. The waves bounce and you measure.
You don't want to hit the reef.
No, don't hit the reef. I know that. I didn't hear that line either, so I just knew, like, some instruments messed up and for some reason they can't move.
Mm-hmm. That's basically what happened.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, but I was just curious. It's nice to look at what they're saying. I should have looked at this earlier.
Well, this scene brings up the whole 305 course.
Oh, yeah.
Now, should we talk about that again?
Well,
Because I feel confused because...
And Michael brings it up again later.
Was it off podcast we were talking about 305 versus 325?
I think we talked about it on the podcast, too.
Was it? Okay.
I mean, we probably talked about it off the podcast as well.
Because wasn't it before this episode, the only time we heard 305 was what Ben told Michael, right?
The only time we heard 325.
Oh, that was when we heard 325.
Yeah. 305 has been consistent for this whole season.
For this season, it's been 305. Okay, that's what it was. So 325 was the first number, and then it's been 305 this season.
Yeah.
So that's the number Dan gave to Frank that time and all that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So
yeah, the paper that they had in the constant, it was 305.
Okay. So have they said 325 again?
No, not since the season 2 finale.
Oh, okay. So then I just got confused. Okay. I thought it was the reverse, and I thought all of a sudden in this episode we're hearing the other number again.
All of a sudden it's back. No.
Okay.
No, they're sticking with 305.
Good.
Yeah.
As long as they stick with it. I thought they switched it again. I was like, what the crap?
No, I'm glad they didn't. It's still kind of annoying to me. And in the Michael scene later, he says that I followed. What does he say? Can't remember how he puts it. I followed his bearing.
Mm-hmm.
Took Ben's boat and followed his bearing, which was 325. So, according to the show, that should be wrong. He should have gone through the wrong part of the barrier. Unless we're just supposed to believe, like he said, it was, he said the wrong number, or, and they just left it in, and it's just an inconsistency, or there's some other thing where there's more than one way to get out, and they just don't know it. I don't know what's going on with that.
Have we ever heard them say, yeah, we have, right, use 305 to leave the island? That's what Frank...
Yeah, that's what they used in the
constant
when they took the helicopter.
Okay, so yeah, all right.
So, yeah, I mean, 305's, definitely winning in mentions, by a lot. But since Michael did get off and doesn't seem to, unless maybe going through the barrier in the wrong place, made him unable to die, which I don't think is true.
No. I mean, part of it is if he went on 305, say 305 and 325 both work, Ben wanted him to be rescued, and if he went on 305, he may not have hit the island that he hit.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's part of it too, where he could have told him 305, but he just wouldn't have found rescue at 305.
Yeah, but I mean, the way they're portraying it, you have to go through 305.
Mm-hmm.
If you can just go out anywhere, then it shouldn't matter.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think it's necessary that you can just go out anywhere, but I'm just saying, on a certain level, he wouldn't have found rescue if he took the other number, if the other number is viable. You know what I mean? He would have been off by 20 degrees, and if you go far enough, you just wouldn't, he wouldn't have found rescue.
But he
so that's
shouldn't
the thing. I mean, obviously they should keep it consistent if it's supposed to be consistent. But what I'm saying is, if there's two places in the barrier where you can get through safely,
okay.
Then if he told him 305, within the context of the show, he wouldn't have necessarily found that rescue.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, it could just be that it's 325 because of where they were trying to get him to go.
Mhm.
And luckily that was safe or something.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like, if they, I feel like they could just say, that 305 works for rescue also, and keep it the same.
Yeah, but they could do that. It'd be weird that if you leave the island from 305, which is the one place in the barrier that works, if you just go far enough, you'll hit some island. I mean, I guess it's just a coincidence. That would just be a coincidence, but you could do that.
Yeah. I mean, it could be, and maybe we're supposed to believe that there are just multiple places, and they just don't know about that. It just seems at odds. It just seems like, either going through the barrier not on 305 isn't a big deal, or there's just more than one place in 305 and it hasn't been discovered yet.
I think that's the thing. I always got the sense that Dan just kind of lucked upon the right way to go. We never really saw him figure it out or do any tests to figure out which is the way through the barrier that works.
Yeah.
I don't even know why he knows that, except for the fact they went through it and it worked.
I mean,
so it could be that there's multiple places.
Given that there's also the issue of, it being they're saying the same number for both ways, and also for no matter where you are, on the island. Like, it seems like they're trying to keep it consistent, and it just seems like it would be more in line with their way of thinking to have said 305 for Michael.
Yeah.
It seems like that would have fit with their way of doing it better, than 305 all the time with one exception. It's just, I don't know. That seems weird.
Yeah.
To me.
Well, it is weird.
I tend to think it's. I just can't imagine why they would change the number. I don't understand that, unless they just did it and decided to stick with the new number when they realized that it was different from the number they used before.
Mhm.
Oh well, it isn't worth dwelling on for too long. It's. Hopefully they answer that in a podcast or something. I'd really like to know what's going on with that.
Yeah. You ready for the next scene?
Yes.
Let's see. So the next scene, Jack and Sawyer are making their way to the helicopter. We hear Jack's sat phone is beeping as they get closer. Sawyer asks Jack if he cut himself shaving. He's referring to his the stitches from his appendix operation. And Jack tells him that Juliet took out his appendix a couple days ago. After that, they make it to the chopper and to find Frank handcuffed to one of the seats. He tells them that he's the one who dropped the sat phone and that Desmond and Saeed should be on the ship because they'd be better off there. He tells them that Kimi and the Kemettes went to the greenhouse to catch Ben. Sawyer, let's see, Sawyer asks what will Kimi do with anyone who's with Ben, and Frank tells them nothing good. Then Sawyer tells Jack that Hugo is with Ben, and Jack replies, "Son of a bitch."
Son of a bitch.
A good line by Jack. I think I was reading Lostpedia, and they kind of credit Sawyer with that catchphrase, "Son of a bitch."
Oh.
But which I mean, I don't see that as a Sawyer thing. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure many have used that before Sawyer.
Yeah.
But he has said that on the show. I can remember.
Yeah, but I like that. It felt right in that moment.
Yeah.
Jack, everything Jack's going through, and he's like, one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh man, just had to happen, huh?
Yeah, they should have enough problems already.
Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah, they really do. Yeah, no, I agree. That was good. It was well delivered. It was a good line. Very nice. Nothing crazy, but it was good.
Mhm. What else about this scene? Frank's there to help.
Yeah, Frank's
a good guy, Frank's a really good guy. He's been a good guy from the start.
Definitely, yeah. You didn't really know what to think from the beginning, but yeah, he was definitely helping out. That's
Isn't he supposed to be an alcoholic or something?
Mhm. Yeah, he was the drunk.
Well, I haven't seen him drink one time.
Yeah, I don't think he has.
He really sobered up for this mission.
Apparently. Yeah. I mean, he's been doing a lot, but yeah, he's not drinking anymore.
Mm-mm.
I don't know what we're supposed to think about that. But yeah, I guess. So I guess the plan is they'll go get Hurley and fly out of there.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I would imagine that they would fly to the beach where the rest of the people are to make sure there's no, I mean, if they were full, I would imagine they would continue to the freighter, but they won't be full. And I would imagine they would want to make sure there's no one left on the beach before they leave the island in the helicopter. But they might not do that. They'll probably get a message by the time they're ready to leave. They'll probably hear from Dan or somebody somehow about what's going on down there, so they don't have to actually go back down there.
Yeah. That's
or the sat phone that he has will get a radio from Desmond on the freighter, and he'll be like, "Well, they're all here" or something.
Yeah, something like that. Because yeah, you're right. They should pick up a few people before they go to the freighter.
Mhm.
I was really just thinking about like fly out of the immediate area.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like where they would be going exactly, but yeah, that's probably. But they have to get Hurley, who, well, I don't know. I guess he's just kind of sitting out there. That could potentially be easy.
No, Hurley's gonna get captured.
You think so?
I'm sure one of Kimmy's men is patrolling the area, and they're gonna. It's the whole scene where Hurley's gonna be hiding out, and you're gonna hear a gun click, and the guy will be behind him. And
oh no!
We found one of Linus's men out here. I know with him, dude. That whole thing.
Spoiler alert!
I know, right? It's not a spoiler if it's a guess.
No, I know. I'm kidding. It just feels like something that would happen.
Yeah.
And that makes me want to call it a spoiler. You're right. I don't think it will be easy, but like where we leave things, Hurley isn't captured. He's just sitting out there, and it seems like if they were lucky, they could run into him and quickly leave.
Yeah. But they can't just yeah. I don't see them just leaving, but they could, Do you think Jack would just get Hurley and be like, okay, let's go. We'll leave Ben and lock up to whatever they're doing, and we'll just leave?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he would do that.
You think he would do that?
Yeah. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, I what do you think he would do? What do you think he would want to do with them?
I don't know. I just don't see it being that easy, and I don't see Jack. I mean, I think he might be concerned that they don't have enough time to get everybody off, or something like that. I mean, I don't know what he could do. He doesn't really have a force. He's just got Saeed and him, and I guess Frank might come or something. I don't know. But I just don't. I don't think that if Jack actually shows up to where Hurley is, and Hurley, tells them, well, Locke went in to go do this thing, and then Ben went to whatever. I don't know what Hurley thinks Ben went to do. I mean, maybe Hurley saw with the binoculars, maybe what happened to Ben. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Jack has any inkling of what's going on. I just don't see him saying, well, whatever, let's go. And I don't know. I don't know what he would do. I just don't see him just being like, okay, let's just leave these guys to their own devices,
One of the things that that I was thinking about is that I feel like, I mean, it's clearly true by the flash forwards, but I feel like things aren't gonna get back to normal. Like,
you mean like
we're not gonna, yeah, like everyone just ending up back on the beach camp, including Locke.
It shouldn't. I think it would be bad if we ended up with any sort of just like stasis of people just like on the island hanging out.
Yeah.
Like, I think we'll see some people doing that and maybe starting their new life, you know, and maybe building more permanent structures or something, or you know, moving into the barracks for real, you know, like Rose and Bernard find a house that's not blown up, you know, and sort of, you know, but that's the thing, would the others want to move back to the barracks? You know, that's their place really now, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just as much theirs as anybody else's, I guess. But yeah, I agree. I don't think we're going to get back to them just hanging out at the beach, because the only reason they were hanging out at the beach was they were, you know, sort of waiting for rescue and had nothing else to do. But now that it's, you know, with whoever's left alive, when it's all said and done, they're content and happy to be there, so they won't, you know, so they'll just be doing whatever, which won't be interesting.
Yeah.
So I can see, you know, maybe that'll get into other stuff with the island, you know, and people actually taking the time to figure out what's going on the island, you know.
Finally. Since we're nearing the end of things. It's just that's been the status quo of the show for a while. You know, in season 3, sort of, well, I guess Locke was there and then he left, and then Jack came back. But, you know, at some point they were all kind of there. And so it still felt like, you know, the same old Lost. But this season hasn't been like that. You know, they've all been kind of dispersed. You know, a lot of people have been, you know, various places. And it just seems like they can't, you know, they can't reestablish the old ways. And it's
no, they can't.
I don't know. It's weird to me. I mean, I guess that's good. You know, it gets old after a while, but Locke, like in particular, I don't think he can really rejoin the group anymore.
I think he's going to go with the others. I mean, he shouldn't go back to the Losties.
Yeah.
The Losties, I don't think want or need him.
Yeah.
I think he's burned too many bridges, and I think he should his final place I think should be with the others.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. He's got to do something.
Yeah. Speaking of doing something, you want to go to the next scene?
Next scene? Sure.
I haven't done that in a while.
A segue? Yeah.
Segue, not
Good.
going to the next scene.
Mm-hmm.
So the next scene, we're back in the flash forward. We're at Christian's funeral, a very nice portrait of him. Let's see. So Jack, is giving the eulogy and talking about his dad. He said his dad couldn't stand eulogies. The only good thing about Wake is the free booze. He says that he basically gives his goodbye. He says he loved his dad and that he misses him. And then he and the mom are kind of saying goodbye to people, and the mom says, "I'll see you back at the house." And she leaves. Kate comes up to Jack and tells him he did a good job. And then a new mysterious blonde enters the picture.
Who could this be?
Who could this be with this Australian accent? She asks to speak with Jack alone, and she tells him, "I'm sorry for your loss." And Jack asks how she knew his dad, and she basically says that she believes she was the reason he was in Australia. Not her directly, but her daughter, which was also Christian's daughter. And I'll just read what she says.
What?
She says, "Would you like to know the strangest thing about all of this, Mr. Shepard? My daughter was on your plane, too. She was on Flight 815. You were in the air for 6 hours, probably just a few rows over for her, and you never knew she was even your sister. Or you never even knew she was your sister," however you want to say that. She says she was one of the ones who died when your plane hit the water. Her name was Claire. And of course it's at this moment where everyone's jaw drops, and at the realization of the gut punch that is Jack realizing that Claire was his sister. And she, apologizes for his loss again, and goes past Kate and Aaron as she leaves, and tells Kate that her son is beautiful, and that's the scene.
Oh, She only knew.
Yeah, I love this. I love when Jack found out and that look on his face when it was like, because I thought in his head that he's like, holy crap, who could it be? You know, and he's probably hoping it wasn't like someone he, liked or something,
Yeah, he's
like,
hoping for, Frogurt or something.
Yeah, he's hoping like it's just, who could, was it one of the red shirts? Was it somebody I really knew? Was it,
Yeah.
And then the gut punch of, her name was Claire. Ooh. That's gotta hurt. Jack's like, she's the main character.
Mm-hmm.
She was in the pilot. Then here's another scene that's a long time coming. We've all speculated how Jack would find out about Claire. And I always thought he would find out, when she was sort of alive and he could do something about it. I didn't really think he'd find out after the fact,
Mm-hmm. Me too. I thought somehow what the various people on the island knew about his dad would lead him to that.
Mm-hmm.
But no. He gets told. So I guess Claire's mom woke up and.
I sort of skipped that part, but yeah, she says that she was in a coma when Christian was there. But yeah, I don't know how she woke up from the coma, but I guess it happens.
Mhm.
Which I could totally see a scene where Claire comes to her mother. It's time to wake up, Mom.
Oh God.
Like apparition Claire.
Mhm.
And then the mother wakes up. Claire, is that you? And she's gone, of course.
Of course. Yeah.
And then the mother turns on the TV, at some point and sees Oceanic Flight 815, blah blah blah.
That's it.
See, they really need to hire me for the show, and I can write really crappy scenes that, make sense. They're just crappy.
Jack Shepherd? Could he be related to?
Mm-hmm. Jack Shepherd, son of Christian Shepherd. Surprised they don't say that.
Yeah. Son of preeminent drunk and surgeon.
Yeah. I of course, no scene is ever perfect for me, but I wanted a little bit more. I wanted some, at least the mother to ask, did you know her? Did you talk to her maybe before the plane or at the bar? You know what I mean? Like, because there's opportunities that they could have talked or met or anything. Even on the plane, they could have been sitting next to each other for all, like, the mother knows. So I was a little surprised that the mother didn't press him a little bit more about what he could have known about Claire. She just assumes that he just, didn't know anything or never met her or anything. Because I would have liked to see Jack's response to that.
Mm-hmm.
Which would probably just been no, but he could have, it would have been interesting to see him at least fidget and have to sort of think about what to say. Because, there's nothing wrong with him saying, like, oh, yes, I saw her, or, she really shouldn't be at the bar, but she could be, not drinking alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Anything. But this was a cool little scene, and then of course, the little tag with seeing Aaron there and your grandson's beautiful. Well, you should think so.
Yeah.
Your son's beautiful, and she should think so because that's her grandson.
Yeah.
It's got her genes, so.
Mhm. Yeah, that's a weird one.
It'd be weird if she thought to herself, "What an ugly baby."
Mhm. Yeah, see, that would be funny and possible, but they wouldn't put that in.
They wouldn't put that in there. That's what I would put in a comedy.
It's so, like, anti-sentimental.
Yeah, it is.
Damn, that's an ugly baby.
Like, she's walking out crying, and she just, like, takes a second look, like, what the crap? That baby's ugly.
Oh, God. Yeah. That was a really... She
comes up to Kate and she tells her, if I had a baby that ugly, I would have stayed on the island. No, just kidding. But yeah, another hugely monumental scene.
Yeah.
Not only Jack finally burying his dad after that's what he was in Australia to do. Coming or on his way back to LA to do, which was to go to his dad's funeral. So all this time he's been thinking about that and trying to This is the end of that arc,
Yeah, it's weird. It's another one of those things that I've waited years for, and it's so strange to actually see him carry it out. The Claire thing is, and now that clears up, that line where it seemed like he knew that they were related, that he's related to Aaron, that is, from 2 episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking to Kate, and he says you're not even related to him. One question I have is, does Kate know?
Does Kate know what?
I mean, maybe she doesn't know in this scene, but does Kate, know that woman is?
Oh yeah, I think she overheard.
Okay, you think she overheard?
Yeah,
I mean, I kind of agree, but
she gives that look at the end, like, can you believe it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think she overheard. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think this is why Jack probably changes his mind about Aaron, which is he realizes that's his nephew.
Yeah.
But I still am confused on why he didn't want to be around him in the first place.
Right.
Anything else with this scene? This is going to be a short podcast.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those where, for some reason, there isn't that much to just talk about forever.
Yeah.
I think the big things will come in the next one. That's it.
All right, next scene. We're back on the freighter. Son, Michael, and Jen are talking. They're asking Michael about how he got rescued. Son asked how he got back to New York. Michael said he took Ben's boat. He and Walt took Ben's boat, followed his bearings. After a couple of days, they came to an island with people. They sold the boat and hopped a ferry, cargo ferry back to the States, and didn't tell anyone who they were. Son asks, so now you're working for Ben? And Michael says he's not working for Ben. He's just trying to make up for what he did and help them all out. And he tells Son to translate to Jen, and Jen, of course, understands. Then Desmond rushes in, needing Michael's help. And I guess I'll finish. The next part, which is they run to a room in the ship. Desmond, Michael, Son, and Jen enter, and they see a whole lot of C4. Then Michael says, oh, my God. And then Jen tells Son something in Korean, presumably, to go above deck and sort of get out of the area. And I think that's the scene.
And his transcript's a mess. It's got, Kate scene running into that. Oh, well. Okay. So this fills in a little bit about Michael that wasn't in Meet Kevin Johnson. The question of what happened to him after he left the island in the boat, and how he got back to New York. And it's more or less along the lines of what I expected, nothing crazy. He just sailed.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time trying to figure it out, and the one thing that I don't think we said, because we were like, well, how would he get money? How would he get money? And it didn't dawn on us that he could sell the boat.
Yeah, I never thought of that either.
I never thought of that. I just thought, and also I wasn't thinking about the region and that, like we sort of see with how the Oceanic 6 got rescued. There are these islands with these people who are just sort of living there, and it's not very urbanized or anything like that. Where they can sort of meld into the population if they wanted to.
Yeah.
So that was the other thing. But I didn't even think that they could even sell the boat and get money, because that would be obvious. Like, what would they do with the boat after they got there?
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't even think about that. I just imagined them abandoning it. I really didn't. I assumed it was straightforward, but I didn't know how it would work. But here it is.
We were talking about, they would, how are they going to get aliases because they would have to have identification But that's the other thing too is I guess they just hopped on this cargo ferry and they just used assumed names and they didn't need a driver's license to get on, of course.
Yeah.
Because those people don't care.
Right, exactly.
If you're going to pay them or do whatever.
So, not a lot of, government officials hanging around trying to crack down or whatever.
It's the high seas. Anything goes.
Yeah.
But
it's nice to get a little detail there.
Yeah. So... And the whole thing with Jen, telling Michael he understands, that's another sort of full circle thing.
Mm-hmm.
With Jen, basically, his English is as good as it'll ever be, basically.
Yeah.
It's not a problem anymore, unlike when he first got to the island.
He's a fast learner, that Jen.
He is.
Seemed like he only started to try to learn last season, and so it seems like within the space of maybe a month and a half, he's right up there with understanding at least.
Yeah, well, I've heard English is a really easy language to learn.
Have you heard
that? It's really easy. Yeah, I know a lot of people who learn English, and all of them say it's real easy.
Well, I thought it was easy, but.
But you were just saying goo goo gaga for a while.
It's true. But it sort of demonstrates how far Jen's come since Michael saw him last.
Yeah, it was a nice little thing when he's like, I understand. You don't have to translate for me.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different thing when you can just talk to him directly. It's
They were really close. They were friends, Michael and Jen were really tight, and I think it's probably very strange for them all to be there. And Son and Michael too had something.
Yeah.
So.
That's why I wasn't surprised they had them. They gave them scenes. Because there was definitely something going on there. There's some kind of relationship and with Son and Jen. So since Michael's back, they had to talk, and Jen's probably got to die soon. So if he's gonna do it, it's time.
So C4.
Combination 4. So
now, I would think that this is why Kimi didn't want the captain to shoot him, because I think this is what his little device was hooked up to. But my problem is, how was this supposed to affect the island?
That's exactly my problem. Not only that, if the boat blows up, how is that? How is that useful?
Yeah.
I don't understand why he would want to do that. It doesn't seem advantageous to him to have the boat blow up. So it does. I do kind of think that's what it is. But there's a transmitter, so it seems like that's it. But I just don't understand it.
Yeah. I don't understand it either. It seems like, even if the boat was on the island, how big of an explosion would that be? I don't think enough to kill everyone on the island.
Surely not. No, it'll fuck up the boat for sure. But certainly where they are now, I don't think it'll even affect the island at all.
Yeah, from where they are now.
Maybe they'll hear it, but
maybe it's maybe it has more to do with making sure that I don't know. doesn't quite work, but I feel like maybe it's just a measure to make sure that, no one takes over the boat or no one, does something Kimi doesn't want them to do with the boat because he could blow it up at any time.
Yeah.
I mean, it basically the reason it saved him with the captain,
Right.
But why he would sort of strap, and maybe he's thinking, he's not on the boat now, so he could blow it up anytime he wants. So maybe maybe they have some other plan of how to escape. Maybe the boat isn't what they're planning to use to leave this mission.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I mean, if he blows up the boat, then yeah, it seems like he's got to have another plan for escape because I think he's a mercenary. I don't think he's so dedicated that he just he's willing to die for this mission if he unless he has to.
Mm-hmm.
I think his motive ought to be, presumably money if he's a mercenary.
Yeah.
So he wants to live. And I don't think he wants to live on the island.
No.
So, unless he's got another way to get out of there, which maybe he does, then I don't feel like he should blow the boat up for that reason also.
Why didn't anyone notice them bringing all this C4 aboard?
I don't know.
I mean, it's clearly labeled.
Yeah, it is. Well, Michael had that trunk. Maybe it was just in a trunk like Michael's thing, and they just didn't.
Yeah, they'd have to have a lot of trunks, but I guess they could have just concealed it somehow in some cases or something.
Yeah.
And then unpacked it. But then what would they do with all the extra cases? It's a space issue. It's not feng shui.
I see. Oh, no.
Yeah. And if loss is anything, it adheres to feng shui.
Mm-hmm.
That's my own theory.
Never thought about that.
A lot of times when they have situations where someone finds a bomb, it's really obvious what's going to happen with it. But I don't think that's the case here. I really don't. I can't quite tell what we're supposed to think is going to happen with this bomb.
Yeah. And when Jin, told Sun to leave, that makes sense, but I was like, no.
Yeah, if it goes off, it won't help.
Yeah. And also, just because of flash forwards, I'm thinking, keep Sun there, because she's going to live.
Oh, well, but... Yeah. It's one of those things where... But if she stays and dies, then she won't live.
Then she won't live? Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking, as long as she's around, then it can't go off and kill them.
It can't go off, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really make sense. It's just that, wherever Sun is, the danger can't be too bad.
Yeah. Unless it goes off and blows up everybody, but she doesn't die.
Yeah, I mean...
I mean, if she could be protected enough to where fate rearranges itself, or the bomb wouldn't go off if she's around, then I think she could just somehow survive the explosion and everyone else die.
Mhm. Yeah.
But it would be an interesting test to see if that could help or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with this.
I don't either. I Desmond, Michael, sorry.
We're just saying random names.
Jin, Jin, I think is going to die. Michael could die. I think he's up for grabs for dying, at least. If I think he's in the coffin, then he shouldn't die. He should die much later.
Mm-hmm.
But which I do. But nonetheless, still putting him up for death anyway. But Desmond, I don't feel like they're going to kill Desmond. So, of course, he could, him and Sun could be the only ones who live or something. I don't know. But I don't know what they're going to do either. It seems like, I think this is going to go off. But I don't know what the result's going to be.
I think it could be where it doesn't actually go off, where they disable it, or they, kill Kimi or something and disable his thing before it triggers whatever that's supposed to be about. I could see it not going off because it's very problematic if it does.
Yeah.
I don't see it going off and blowing, with I mean, they do need to sort of with all the red shirts and the other people who are going to get rescued or who should be, on their way to the freighter, they need to do something with them. They either need to die or stay on the island. They obviously don't get rescued. But I don't really see them just blowing up a whole ship full of people.
Yeah, that would be pretty harsh.
Yeah, and especially any of our main characters being on that ship. I mean, maybe Jen.
Yeah.
But I even think Jen would, get a better death than that. It's just, blowing up in a, thing. So, I kind of feel like it won't go off. That's my idea right now. That's my gut feeling. It doesn't quite work for me, because to me it just seems like an extra problem. It doesn't seem like it's really integral to what's going on. It just seems like, hey, here's an extra obstacle.
Yeah, it kind of does. I agree. And I don't know, if they lose the freighter, I don't know what they're going to do about getting rescue. Because in my mind...
Well, they still got the helicopter. But, I mean, what's Sun and Aaron going to do?
Yeah.
And Michael, because I think and Desmond, because I think I don't think any of those people will blow up in the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they will. I mean, it could be one of those explosions where, if you're on the top deck, you just get thrown over and you just land in the water and you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that might happen. But I don't see the baby being in an explosion and, Sun, Sun is in the water with the baby. No way. No way.
Yeah,
now, it could be that now that they see the C4, that they're like, well, we got to get people off this boat, and they start ferrying people back to the island, which would be very weird. Yeah, that'd be odd, but that could happen.
Well, luckily they should have only had 2 loads.
Yeah.
By the time they can, say that.
And the boat is going closer, so it would take less time to ferry the people.
Yeah. I don't know why. It doesn't seem like it'll work, but for some reason I think it's going to explode.
You think so?
Yeah. I'm
Because
probably
all
wrong.
you have to really do is, if they just disable the communication, it won't go off. Kimi won't be able to detonate it. If they could just, if Saeed was aboard, he'd be able to, figure something out.
Yeah. He'd be good to have around.
Yeah.
He's off doing other stuff.
There's only one Saeed.
Yeah, I know. If only there could be more.
You ready for the next scene?
Yeah.
All right, and the next scene... Okay, so Kate and Saeed are, is this the right scene? Yeah, Kate and Saeed are on their way trying to find Jack and Sawyer. Saeed, they kind of stop, and Saeed asks what's the matter, and Kate is looking at the tracks, and she tells him they aren't Jack or Sawyer's. They're different tracks, they're fresh, and they're doubling back behind us. Oh no, it must be Naomi. She's not really dead after all. Saeed basically, in sort of anti-Saeed fashion, he demands something happen now instead of later, and tells whoever they are to come out now. And then Richard comes out.
I love the idea of Saeed, trying to tell them, let's talk about this later.
Yeah. Well, it's really I feel like he doesn't waste any time. Normally I think, if this wasn't the finale, they would maybe discuss a little bit more about what they should do.
Yeah, it was quick. I agree.
It was just okay, enough of this. Come out, And so Richard comes out with unarmed and tells them to put their guns down, and Kate and Saeed try to stand their ground, but in old season 2 Others fashion.
Yeah.
The others come out with all their guns, and everyone cocks their guns at the same time.
The old other surround move.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's their primary protocol.
I don't know what happened to the magic paralysis darts, but they're just going back to the normal weapons.
Mhm. Yeah, they ran out of well, you know, the spiders that make that paralyzing agent, they haven't been able to find them since Nikki and Paulo were around.
I see. They've all, like, I don't know, gone into hiding. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right, he comes out and tells them to drop their guns, and that's it. And they drop their guns, and they seemingly capture them.
Mhm.
I don't think we have anything to worry about. Call me crazy, but I trust Alpert, and I think he just wanted to disarm them, but I don't think that they really have anything to fear here.
Yeah, I kind of trust Alpert. I'm a little bit wary of him, just because of some of the things he's done in the past.
Like what?
Well, I mean,
you just mean he's been devious before.
Yeah, and Ben seemed to suggest that it was his idea for the purge.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we have Juliet's story where he seemed to engineer her husband being killed by bus.
Oh, that's just crazy talk. That's the thing. I mean, yeah, he's done that stuff, but I think in this situation, I don't think Kate and Saeed have anything to fear from them. What could they possibly do to them? What could they possibly want from them? I just don't, if this was before when they, the old school others, when they were doing stuff and kidnapping people and all that, I could say, I'd be like, okay, maybe maybe they want them for something, but
I agree they don't want them for anything. I feel like they're, if Ben signaled them earlier, I don't know what Ben's up to, and I don't think they're necessarily going to help Saeed and Kate do what they wanted to do.
I don't think they necessarily. I think call me crazy, but I think it'll work out in the long run.
Mhm. Well, yeah, clearly I have a feeling they will get away. Yeah.
I think it'll be all right, but
I guess I would be more nervous if they weren't the Oceanic Six. I forgot about that. That just ruins everything. They'll be fine. Of course they will.
Yeah. I think they might stop them from getting there when they originally were going to get there or something. But I think in the long run they're going to help, and I could imagine. Saeed is going to demand Richard tell him what's going on, and Richard is like, we need your help to do this, or blah, 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 or, Ben's about to move the island. Move the island? That was Kate. And
okay. Yeah, of course.
And
she's always good for being incredulous.
Yeah, exactly.
She doesn't believe anything.
No.
Oh, the phone's broken, is it?
Why is the light green? That's the working light.
Well, welcome back, others. You've been asleep all season.
They really have been. They've been hanging out at the temple.
Yeah, they're kind of a dark horse in all this. They've been on the outside of everything this season. Just kind of sitting on the sidelines, not really. Let's see how many more metaphors I can put in here.
Yeah, I know. They're waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
And they're I don't know. What do you think about the fact that they're wearing their old school clothes?
Yeah, that's weird.
I just, I saw someone mention that they called it their disguises, which that's how it was presented to be. But what else would they wear? I don't imagine in this scene that the others would show up in really sort of contemporary regular clothes with their guns, and that would be really strange to look at.
Yeah.
I just don't know what else they would wear.
It does seem to make sense.
Part of it is that their clothes are kind of camouflage.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they do blend in.
Yeah. I mean, they're useless as this guy. I mean, the Losties know, you know, what the deal is with them. I mean, they don't think they're like, you know, living on the land or whatever.
Yeah.
Living in teepees and whatever they were doing. But, yeah, I agree. I mean, like, in the barracks, it looks reasonable for them to wear, you know, ordinary clothes. But for tracing off in the jungle, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it just seems practical, you know. I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, it's just, you know, they're not wearing, you know, beards and stuff.
Yeah, I hope they're not doing fake beards. That would just be silly. if Alper showed up with a big, nasty fake beard.
That would be really funny. That'd be ridiculous.
See, that part of it was silly. From the, you know, for the disguise thing. Like, I never really understood that. But whatever. But the clothes, you know, yeah, you can just, I mean, whatever, you know. I mean, they are just kind of living out there, and so, you know, clothes that are good for that environment just make sense.
Yeah.
So.
It's just practical.
Yeah.
All right, next scene.
Maybe one little thing. Do you have any speculation about? Do you think Richard is just going to come like reinforce Ben? You know, storm the place, and you know, what do you think? Do you have any ideas about what he might do?
Nothing good, nothing that interesting. I don't really know. I think it's there's nothing really to go on to speculate. So I feel like part of me feels like they're not going to the Orchid.
Okay.
I don't know where they're going, but I don't think they're going to the Orchid. I mean, obviously it depends on why did they even capture them, you know. And that's the thing. It almost looks like they were waiting for Jack and Kate. I'm sorry. Kate and Saeed. Yeah, I'm used to Jack and Kate going off on adventures.
Yeah, you should be.
It looks like they were kind of waiting for them a little bit, or something like that. You know, the fact that the tracks doubled back around them and stuff like that, and they're sort of clearly on the path to where Jack and them were. You know, Jack and Sawyer, you know, they were following their path. So
yeah,
it looks like they intercepted them, and yeah, I don't really know. Sorry, I don't think Ben
could have known that was going on.
Yeah, I don't think Ben really knew that, but I think somehow they found out about Jack and Kate. Sorry, Kate and Saeed.
Yeah, I think they're going to go to the Orchid. I don't know what they're going to do, but
I mean, with that many others, I just don't know. I mean, what are they going to do? I mean, there's like 20 of them, and with guns, they're going to go take on Kimi's team. I just don't see that. I don't know what they could do there. And if Kate and Saeed are supposed to get to the Orchid, you know, then why have the others intercept them now, and not just let them get there and then whatever else happens, you know? So I feel like they need Kate and Saeed for something. They want to tell something that they tell them or show them is going to be important to the outcome. You know, I just don't see Kate, Saeed, Alfred, and the others just all trekking to the Orchid. I don't see that.
Okay.
But we'll know shortly.
Yeah. One of those.
Or longly, since it'll be
2 weeks.
The week after this one. So.
Yeah. But you know, unlike many mysteries, it should be resolved pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It's
Do you have any ideas?
barely a mystery. About what? About what they're going to do? Or I have no idea. But yeah, my best guess is what I said. They're just going to go to the Orchid and take over.
And just, like, shoot Kimi's team or something?
Yeah, which I don't think that's going to happen, but that's my best idea.
Your best idea is something you don't think will happen?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I feel like they're going there, and that's all I can think of for them to do. But yeah, that just seems weird. I mean, maybe they just won't succeed. Maybe Kimi will just be too strong and kill them
I don't
all.
see how they can overpower 20 people with rifles versus like 4 or 5 people.
Yeah,
with
something like that. Yeah.
I mean, I know they've got like training and stuff, but at a certain point you're just outgunned.
Yeah.
And plus, here's the other thing: if it's important or urgent for Alfred and the others to get to the Orchid, why are they stopping to do this?
Taking the time to.
Why didn't they just go there first?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess maybe they'll try to use Kate and Saeed somehow. They're certainly not a good hostage for Kimi. I don't think he'll give a shit that they have him.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to try to hold him hostage. That's the thing. I don't think there's any bad thing is going to come. I don't think that they're going to hold him hostage or do anything bad to Kate and Saeed.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't either. I don't know. I don't really know what the other's deal is. They just haven't been doing anything this season.
They might even be the ones who Albert might even be the one to, which I think is almost perfect, to maybe give them the idea of how to get off the island. He could say, we're about to move the island, and if you don't want to be on it when it moves, this is what you need to do. So I feel like it might be something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. He could do that.
Or tell them, and he might even be the one to tell them about, the cover story or something, or, I mean, not obviously the whole thing, but that might start with him. So, next scene?
Yeah, I guess so.
Which is the last scene.
Well,
I know. We
what
got
a
here
breezy
really quick.
podcast.
I know. We should just, I don't know what. So, next scene, it's Locke, Ben, and Hurley. We're back outside of the Orchid. And Locke says he sees 2 of the Kimi's men, but he doesn't see Kimi. And Ben hands Locke his baton, which is the baton pass heard around the world.
You mean his magic wand?
Yeah, exactly. And Ben tells Locke that he needs to go into the greenhouse through a little hole, and once he's inside, he needs to go and do a couple things, but basically go to the elevator that takes him down to the actual Orchid station. Locke tells him what he's supposed to do. Locke asks Ben what he's supposed to do about the, Kimi and his team. Ben says he's going to take care of that. And then Locke asks how is he going to do that, and Ben sort of very, out of character, I think, a little bit, angrily tells him, how many times do I have to tell you, John? I always have a plan. And then Ben walks off and unarmed and walks up to the greenhouse, and Kimi comes out, and Ben tells him his name is Benjamin Linus. I believe you're looking for me. And then Kimi basically, knocks him over the head with his gun. Lost.
All right.
So, yeah, Ben was very anxious about his plan. That was a very strange thing. How many times are I going to tell you, John? Like, all right, fine, you have a plan.
I thought Locke was going to ask, what is he supposed to do when he gets down there?
Oh no, Locke wouldn't ask that. It's obvious what he's supposed to do.
Because I know that, yeah, keeping it is a problem, but like his instructions stop with you get into the station. It's like Locke is supposed to know what to do. Like, is it going to be a push here to move island button?
I think so.
I mean,
it's crazy. Locke is the kind of person who doesn't ask the right questions, and I think we've heard that before in the show.
Yeah.
So that I was wondering that too. Like, okay, well, once you get to the Orchid Station, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Locke is the one who is supposed to move the island. It's not Ben.
Mhm.
So presumably Locke will figure out what to do when he gets down there.
Figure out what to do.
Maybe he'll see an orientation video.
Oh God.
An Orchid orientation video.
Oh,
that'd
dear.
be awful.
Yeah, what we saw isn't going to help him. Didn't seem to have anything to do with moving islands. What's going on?
All right,
here?
I'm back.
Oh man, almost. Okay.
3:53:35. That's the exact amount of time I can talk on my phone before it hangs up.
Well, that's nice.
So I was saying something about something. Did you hear me cut off?
I was talking, but you might have talked and then cut off, and I didn't know it.
Well, what were you saying?
I was just saying that I think what am I doing? I'm completely it just blew my mind. Yeah. When he goes down there, I mean we
were saying he might see an orientation video.
He might see an orientation video. I could definitely see that happening.
I don't see him having the time to sit back and watch a video.
Yeah,
but
that's
maybe.
True. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I've always been frustrated when multiple times when they're someplace, and they go back and then they find the secret room.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, the medical station, when they went back, found the secret room, and then there's Ben's house. They find a secret room, and then it turns out there's two secret rooms to make it even worse. This thing has that. The credit I'll give them is that before we go, they're telling us that there's a secret place.
Well, that's the thing. I knew it couldn't just be a greenhouse. They kept saying, "Oh, it's a greenhouse." Yeah, right. It's a greenhouse.
I know. When he said that, yeah, that's as far as they went with it. Just trying to say it was a greenhouse for the majority of the show. Yeah, I don't know. The deviousness of Dharma is strange to me. It just doesn't seem like they need to do this. Like, were they telling people, that it's a greenhouse, and then just a select few knew that the real station was underneath? And I don't know. It could be that there were Dharma scientists and people who were in charge that decided to do things that the sort of the Groots didn't know about, or whoever was over it didn't know about, and they were, they built this. It's like, at what level did they really have all this secret stuff? And it's like, well, why? Who is benefiting from thinking it's a greenhouse and only a greenhouse? Yeah. You would think it's, that must mean that there's some Dharma people who don't know, but it's like, because Ben's dad was just like a janitor or something. He doesn't need to know what the orchid does. Mm-hmm. And other, and the people who are just registering new people to the island. I mean, there's a whole slew of Dharma of people, I think, that shouldn't be privy to the really secret, crazy stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I think the idea is that they were just working on some really, crazy stuff, and they had to be careful and very secretive about it. And they didn't want, just because someone is at the Orchid Station or at the greenhouse,
they didn't want them to know or have access to what is really there.
Mm-hmm.
So they decided to hide it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, the medical station having a hidden room, I thought to me, is not that big a deal. To me, it's just a weird, like, whatever, just to explain why the stuff was gone, really.
Yeah.
You know, if they didn't have to explain that, I don't think that room would have been there. And then Ben's house with the double secret rooms, you know. What are you going to do with that?
Phooey. Yeah.
Yeah. I expected Ben to have that first room. I expected. You know, that first room makes sense. The second one is like, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
But the cool thing about the second one is, at least what I thought originally, or it still might be true to a certain degree, I thought it was more of a, you know, an escape route. You know,
yeah.
if it actually leads to somewhere where you could escape, then I wouldn't have a problem with that, because I would expect him to want to have something like that.
Yeah, I agree. It's just that I don't know. I get weary after a while of going back and finding secret rooms.
Yeah.
You know, a few times is okay, but it just you know, wears me out. So, but whatever. This time we didn't really get to see the station before we found out. So I appreciate that on their part.
Mhm.
So I don't know what's gonna happen here. Ben's just gonna walk in there, and so he's giving himself up, and then
I think Ben is just buying time.
Okay, and that'll distract him, and Locke can sneak in and do his thing, and Hurley, who knows? He's just gonna stay there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's Hurley gonna do. I mean, Hurley needs to get back with somebody else so he can get off the island.
Yeah, he needs to get away from Locke. I'm still wondering about that line from the beginning of the season where he said he was sorry he went with Locke. You know, I'm wondering if that's gonna like make sense.
I hope it will.
You know, whether like, because like Locke, whatever he did, I mean, I feel like pretty much, you know, if Hurley hadn't gone, it would have played out the same way. So it doesn't seem like Hurley's decision to go really. I mean, maybe he's just sorry because it was a bad place to be or something.
Well, Locke would have never found the cabin if it wasn't for Hurley.
Oh.
Supposedly.
Yeah, they didn't make it seem that way.
Yeah, I know.
But oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, I don't know maybe we haven't seen what Hurley is sorry for yet. I mean, Locke has yet really to do the big thing he's apparently going to do.
And
it could be that moving the island, who knows what moving the island could do. It's dangerous and unpredictable.
Apparently, yeah.
That could be why he's sorry. And he couldn't be sorry in general that like he sort of like he chose the wrong person to go with. Yeah,
that's kind of what I was thinking. Because I would be sorry for going with Locke already.
And if something happens with Jack trying to come rescue him too, that's another reason he could be sorry, because Jack wouldn't have to come rescue him if he wasn't with Locke.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
You know
true.
what I mean?
That's
so
true.
if somebody gets hurt or shot or
in the course
none of the people there are. I mean, obviously all the people there are going to live. All the losties that are going to be there are going to live. But I don't know. Maybe Frank gets shot and he can't fly the helicopter out or something, or which I don't really know. I don't think that's going to happen, but maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess those people can't die. I guess Locke could die. I don't think he's going to die, and even if he did.
Yeah, why would he be sorry about that?
Yeah,
really?
At this point, it's.
I'm sorry I went with Locke because he's dead. Like,
yeah, I don't think Locke's going to die either. I think he's hanging around for a while. till the show's over, or very close. Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, short podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to have like 5 more hours of conversation.
This was a very season 3 podcast. I used to be able to do them like this every week.
Wow.
Yeah, you never know. I don't know. It was a very good episode. It's just, I don't know.
There's just not a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
They were really, I mean, a lot of this stuff was just completing arcs and storylines, you know, and seeing people, and, you know, this is basically this is like the first flash forward we saw, right? I mean, chronologically.
Yeah, it is. The earliest.
They really shouldn't have one before this.
No.
Or otherwise, it would just be like the present. They
really should. Yeah, exactly. They really should just lead up to that one instead of having a flash forward earlier.
So that's the thing. If the end of this season they catch up to the flash forwards, then couldn't next season they just continue with the flash forward, like have the flash forwards be the present?
Yeah, potentially. It would be a jump forward, and they'd have to address the island too. But yeah, they could do that.
Yeah,
they could do that. I really can't tell. The show's crazy these days. I can't quite tell where they're going with things. Used to be so easy.
Yeah.
You know, the others captured people. Ooh, like, you know, things are simple.
Yeah, things were simple. Should we press the button? Should we not press the button?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's such a simple choice. I don't know.
I do think once Lost is over, you know, the series finale and everything, it'll be a very big adventure to watch the entire thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, definitely.
To watch the pilot and go, you guys have no idea what you're in store for. You're going to die. You're going to die. He's going to kill you.
He's going to kill you and you.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's a very long adventure.
And you're going to tell him to kill him because he killed that guy.
Yeah, and you're going to steal all the meds because you're pissed because of this, and like, yeah, it's going to be crazy.
It is really, yeah. I mean, you know, especially with the prospect of losing more main characters. I mean, I wonder how many from the pilot are going to make it to the bitter end. 4?
Or 8, or 15, or 16, or no, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's.
To the very end, I don't think. I mean, Jack could die at the very end. I don't think Kate's gonna die. She's got the baby. I don't think Son's ever gonna die. I don't really see Locke dying. I don't see Locke dying. He could, but I don't really see him dying. Who else is left? Hurley, I don't think Hurley dies.
Yeah, Hurley really shouldn't die. They won't want to kill him.
Saeed, I don't think will die. He could, but I don't think
Saeed could die.
You think he could die?
Yeah.
He could. I mean, he doesn't seem to have a lot going on.
He doesn't have to, but I think he's available for death. Michael can definitely die. Sawyer could die.
If Sawyer's on the island, I don't think he's gonna die. If he like never leaves the island, I don't think he'll die.
Yeah.
I think he'll just live out his days on the island or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the other thing too. You know, at the end of all this, if there's people still on the island, like, are they just going to live with the others? And you know, what are the others going to? And that's the thing. After all this, what are the others going to do with themselves?
Yeah.
You know, like, what do they even? First of all, what were they even doing in the first place?
Good question.
You know, what were they? I mean, we know about the fertility thing, but aside from that, like, what are they even doing?
Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of questions about the others. I hope we get to those.
Yeah.
And I hope somehow it all mostly makes sense in the end. It'd be nice.
Very nice.
But, no.
Well, all right. Stay tuned to the next podcast.
Yeah, we'll be back in 2 weeks. It'll probably be a little bit longer than this one.
So the next episode is a two-parter.
Yeah.
But we're doing one podcast for both parts.
Mm-hmm.
The big podcast number 50.
Yeah.
Where Justin's doing the intro.
That's right. Get ready.
Long time coming.
It's gonna be my voice bringing you in.
And yeah, I think the next podcast will be a little bit longer than this one.
Yeah, I'm confident about that.
Like 1,000 hours. Minus.
I think that might be a little high there.
Minus 990.
Yeah.
No, I think we'll have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I think you're right. They did more like, completing story arcs than they did like setting out new mysteries.
Yeah.
And I think those are the things that get you talking forever. And that's probably where the second part comes in. Yeah. But I really did like it. It was a good episode.
Yeah.
The time's not reflected.
I think any Lost fan who doesn't like this episode, I don't know, I would be wary because to me this episode is what we have been waiting for.
Yeah.
We've been waiting to see a lot of this stuff, and if you don't want to see this stuff, then what are you watching for?
This is really stuff that I thought we were going to see at the end of the show, not in season 4.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I didn't think they would have a thing where they got off and now they want to get back and all that.
Yeah.
We never thought about that.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, I thought the whole show would be on the island, and they would just, the whole point would be them getting rescued, and they'd either get rescued or they wouldn't. And I thought that was the show right there. It would be inside the island. Like it would be all about the island's mysteries. They wouldn't get the chance to go. I mean, it's still like, it's still in there. It's not like it's disappeared from the plot, but that part was, and the flash forwards too. I mean, that device just blindsided me. I'm used to it now, but from the beginning of the show, I mean, I don't think you.
Yeah, like you know what, guys? I think in season 4 they're gonna do flash forward. Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. It just sounds too wacky. Like they can't make that work.
Because we'd be like, well, anytime you see someone with a gun to their head, they're gonna live or die or whatever the outcome of the future is, and and that would have been a reason right there not to believe that they would ever do flash forward.
Yeah.
But no, they don't care.
They just did it anyway.
Yeah.
Oh well. We're just gonna go through it, and it'll be like Apollo 13 or something. They make it, but you're supposed to get into it anyway.
Okay, well, guys, don't forget to check out the website, thelostlowdown.com, and fill out the poll, and of course, tllld.net is the forum, and I think that's it.
I think so.
All right.
Woo.
Thanks and namaste.
See you in 2 weeks. Namaste and good luck.